I got healthy, got wealthy, and even got wise. That sweet Kangen water open up my eyes, satisfying for the body, gratifying for the mind. Kangen water for the rest of my life. Kangen water quenches your thirst. Kangen water feeds your soul. Kangen water inspiring your dreams. Kangen water for the rest of my life. Let's unify with Chi spirit. Kangen water will set you free. Let's unify with Chi spirit. Kangen water will set you free. Let's unify with Chi spirit. Let's follow Mr. O philosophy. Look within, 'cause you wanna win. Join the Kangen Nation. Kangen Nation, we're everywhere. All around the world, water we share. Changing one life at a time. With compassion for mankind. Well, I love you so, you gotta know. Hope you don't mind me preaching.
You're listening to the Wolf's Den Radio Show. Talk.
Hey, sisters and brothers, this is Wolf Hemora here with another episode of WDRS Talk, the Wolf's Den Radio Show Talk. Thank you very much for joining me again for another great episode, and it is episode 17, and I hope everybody's doing great out there. We're still here getting our vaccines here in Southern California. I hope wherever you are in the world listening to this right now, I hope you've got some vaccines scheduled, or if you have taken them already, good for you. And please continue to be vigilant against coronavirus, of course. Keep on washing your hands, wearing that mask, social distance, and all that good stuff. And hopefully we will get through this sooner than later. Actually, some sad news. An auntie of mine, passed away last week because of coronavirus, and it was a very shocking, a very fast turn of events. And the whole family is shocked right now. She was the first cousin of my father on his mom's side. So she was a really cool person. I got to visit her when I went to Madrid in Spain, maybe 5-6 years ago, and she's one of the really cool aunts that makes you. She's always the life of the party whenever she was there, and she has a twin sister who is still with us, and they were both cool, and they come from a really good family, and her son is one of my childhood friends when we were growing up. But then, of course, we went separate ways because he lived in Spain while I lived in Manila. But somehow we still have a good connection, even though we don't really speak to each other anymore. So I'm really giving my all my love and light to my cousin and his father for their loss, and the loss, my aunt's family, her siblings, and it's a sad thing. And anyway, rest in peace. I don't want to mention her name, but She was a very good person, and she'll be missed. And anyway, I hope everybody's doing good out there. And man, there is I don't know, here in the States there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel, and in the Philippines they're still trying. I don't know, they're still trying. So just keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully you'll get the vaccine soon. Anyway, all right, moving on to the episode 17, and it's an interview of a rock DJ, one of the most famous rock DJs in the Philippines. His call sign is The Doctor, and his name is Ramon Zialcita, and a really good friend of mine. He lives in Florida now. He migrated here to the States to be with the rest of his family, and yeah, he was one of the I should say the one of the DJs that was very active during the Pinoy rock scene of the 1990s, and as we all know, he was one of the top DJs of LA 105.9, and he just he did a really good job. He's been a DJ for most of his life. He started out at 15 actually, and we talk about that. So what else? Yeah, man, this is going to be a really long interview, the longest interview so far. So please be patient. It didn't feel like a long interview actually, because he's a really great guy to talk to, and he has a lot of stories about his history and about Filipino music and DJ and his DJ life and other DJs of the Philippines as well. So, sisters and brothers, WDRS Talk, episode 17. Here we go. This is myself, and I'm talking to the Doctor, Ramon Zialcita. Enjoy. All right, Doctor, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Good to see you, Wolf. We're right here from live at Gator Country, Florida.
Man, where are you exactly? What city?
I'm in a city called Clearwater. It's a place that's famous for having the #1 beach in the Sunshine State.
Oh. So how's the the weather in Florida is just like the Philippines, man. The humidity and all of that.
Yeah, very,
so are
very
the beaches
similar.
Are the beaches the same, or are our beaches still better?
I would say our beaches are still better, but
Okay.
this one at Clearwater is nice because it's white sand.
It does have white sand.
It does have white sand, and it's got a lot of bars and hotels and a lot of clubs, and a lot of happening going around.
So it's you have your own Boracay.
Well, I wouldn't consider it a Boracay. First of all, I haven't been to Boracay, so I can't really compare it. But
You've never been to Boracay?
never been to Boracay.
Wow.
Just seen a lot of pictures. My
Why?
daughter's been there. I guess the rock and roll has basically kept me in the Luzon area.
Right.
So I concentrated in that area. No time, man. Mhm.
How busy was your life back in that era?
Which era? 80s to now?
let's
Which one?
Because you're most famous for the 90s. You're
Okay,
the Doctor,
all right.
So.
All right.
No, I just a side quick note lang na how busy was your life at that time?
Well, it was really, really busy because my day would start at 10 o'clock in the morning. I would be on the radio over LA 105.9. That's a 4-hour shift. And I would end at 2 o'clock. And from there, I would 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
You're right.
And then I would rush to the recording studio because I was producing with Ed Formoso, the legendary producer. We were partners. I was with his organization called the EFO, Ed Formoso organization. And I would stay in the studio till 9, 10-ish, and from there, I would probably have to go to either a gig that I'd be hosting, or I was managing a rock band, which is Dahong Palay. So I'd probably go with them,
Right.
or do a voicing for a radio commercial after the studio commercial. After the studio, I'd go to a recording studio. or I would have to rush home to finish off my column. I was writing a column for the Manila Times back then.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it was really, really busy, man. Back then.
So are you missing that busy? Because you're not that busy anymore.
No, not not that busy, but something of that. I do really miss. I miss radio. Number one, that's my first love. It's always been radio.
Right.
And I've also missed the live gigs, of course. That's what I miss. I miss working with more musicians. We don't have really too many of that in Florida,
Right. Yeah.
So
what
that's
was the
how
last?
it is.
What was the last concert you saw before the lockdown?
I was watching this. I went to a bar. This was like March of 2020. And I was watching this guy called Jeremy Thomas, who goes on as JT Wild. He is basically the lead vocalist, rhythm guitar player of this southern rock band called Blackfoot. Okay,
I know that band, Blackfoot.
He was with, Highway Song. Train. He was with them from 2014 to 2016. So I went to watch his show. Met the guy in person, and before that was John Waite.
Oh, you saw John Waite?
I saw John Waite.
Man.
Yeah. He did a lot of good stuff, man. He did his solo material. He did some songs from the Babies, from Bad English, and a mixture of the classics and the deep cuts.
What's his show like? Is it as dark as his music, or is it just normal?
This was an outdoor show.
Oh, outdoor. Okay.
This is an outdoor show. It was done on Cleveland Street in Clearwater. The band that opened for him was called Fire and Ice. It was a Pat Benatar tribute band,
right?
And then he followed. And it was just a normal show. He did around 15 songs. What I liked about the guy is that he let everybody in. There's that particular square in front of the stage where they sell tickets. Now, if you're outside the square, you get to watch the show for free.
Yeah.
So he called in all the people just to go in because he wanted it back.
Oh, right. Nice.
So that's what he did.
Shit, man. Yeah, I miss. Oh my god, I miss. Concerts, dude.
Same here, man. Same here.
It's like on average, I would say I would watch maybe 5 major shows. When I say major, it's like stadium size.
Arena.
Yeah. And maybe 10 small shows, like local shows or bands who are not that popular anymore, but they're still touring. Dude, I'll watch those bands. Those are the best, dude.
Me too, man.
And it's only for $10,
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, well, a little bit more, or sometimes it's free. I got to watch a lot of these guys. I was able to watch Molly Hatchet. I watched the Atlanta Rhythm Section. I watched the Robert Cray Band. Well, the Arena. I watched Foreigner with Cheap Trick and Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience.
Oh wow!
Sulit. That was a nice package. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
That was a good package. Yeah.
I love those package shows.
Right.
when like a few years ago, I saw Tool Fest in San Bernardino, and then it was Clutch played, and then who else played? I think Slayer played too. Nice. But when the lineups are just like, oh man, sunod, you can't believe it. Like, of course, because we grew up in the Philippines, it's rare. It's rare, man. Right. And to have a full festival and you do the lineup, and you just look at the poster and you're like, holy shit.
Exactly. Those are the perks of staying in the United States, man.
Yeah, those are the perks, man. Mm-hmm. And then you just have to endure all the bullshit that comes with this country just for those shows, man. But when you're at those shows, you're like, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
for rockers like us, it's heaven, man.
I know. And I want to watch all these bands because a lot of them have probably 10, 15 years, at the most 20, if they're lucky. All these classic rock guys, man.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, the last show, what the fuck, what was my last show, man? I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I think it was probably a small, because it was February and the lockdown happened in March, and wintertime there are no shows. So
yeah,
I didn't really watch anything. So I'm so starving for live music, man.
Yeah. We're in the same boat, man. I mean, but although Florida has some shows already, we're like the wild, wild west here.
I know, man. Fucking Florida, dude. Walang pakialam, pare.
Wala talaga, pare.
Florida is like the pasaway child of the family, pare.
Exactly,
like,
man.
It's so funny, man. Bars are having bands and stuff. Is that the case?
Yeah. In fact, some of the smaller halls, the smaller venues that are bigger sizes than the bars, are having a lot of national artists, but they're mostly Florida based. Like 38 Special.
Right.
Like the bands that are based in Florida that just have to travel by land,
car.
By car. Yeah. So, that's what they have over here, and a lot of tribute bands also.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? Is there testing before you go in, or?
Oh yeah, they're very strict. They do test. They like, if I want to buy a ticket, you have to be a pair, or you have to be a group of 4. Okay,
you can't be alone.
You can't be alone. So if you're like somebody like me, who's like a lot of my friends don't like going to these concerts, you know, and my children don't like going to these concerts either. I have to practically drag them with me.
Yeah.
I either have to miss it, or I have to find 3 other people. I have friends, but they're in different parts of Florida, mostly from the Orlando area.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, and Florida is huge too, man.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you drive 5 hours here, you're still in Florida,
Yeah, there's a lot of driving there, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah. I went there once to for holiday, Epcot Center and SeaWorld, the deal.
Yeah.
And it's like, the Filipino mentality is like, States is always cold, and it's always cold everywhere in the States,
Right.
Putang ina, we got there to fucking Orlando. It's like fucking Manila. It's like, putang ina, init dito, pa.
Dude, when I got here, I lived in Baguio the last 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
Before moving to the States. And when I got here, it's like, who turned on the fucking heat, man? Ang init, man.
Ang init.
Oh, bro.
Dude, sometimes it's worse. It's even worse than the Philippines, man. The humidity is just like something else, man.
And the weather just changes, just like, like one moment it just rains all of a sudden from out of the blue. And then after that, it clears up right away. Yeah. The sun comes out. So it's the weather is very abnormal here, man. Yeah. At times.
It's like it's a mixture of tropical and swamp.
Yeah,
because there's so many swamps there, pare.
That's right.
Have you seen gators already? Like,
yeah. We drove up to Miami. We passed through this city called Homestead. Yeah, and a lot of gators. A lot of because before that, I think it's they have like 2 hours. It's like a 2-hour drive, all marshes, man. It's like swampland. I forgot what they called it, man, but. I mean, they go there like once a year and they kill so many snakes and gators, man, volunteers.
Oh,
and you get to keep everything,
Wow.
Yeah, so you can sell it. Yeah, because
have you tried gator? Have you eaten gator?
No. Never. No.
Do you plan to try?
Yeah, if I'm with a nice chick.
Hey, baby, want some gator?
Thanks.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, Leonard Skinner. They song that's where they're from, and that's all they sang about. This fucking swamps and
Jacksonville. Yeah, they're from
Jacksonville. Yeah. But it's funny about Skinner, because they used to use the Confederate flag.
Right.
They stopped using it in the 90s, and they I think it's in the last documentary that they had
Okay.
a couple of years ago, and they were saying it's like we're rednecks, but we weren't racist and all of that. I mean,
Right.
they were the cool kind of Southern people,
Right.
and I guess since all that Southern pride was with that Confederate flag,
Right.
so they used it, so they got lumped in with that,
Yes. That's
and
right.
then I guess when the brother took over, I think they stopped using the Confederate flag. That was still back in the 90s.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, Skinner is actually cool, because I was starting, when I came here to the States, and and then you start to learn about the culture here, and racism is so much a part of it, And you're like, and then I started to lose faith in fucking Leonard Skinner, pare, because I thought they were part of that fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah.
And then I read, because here there's so much information that you can read about any band, and I learned about them. It's like, are they really like that, man? Because I don't see it in the music. Their music it's not dark.
Yeah.
It's not toward anything or anybody in particular. So paparazzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking some shots, man.
So and then so when I was like when I realized now that they weren't that kind of people, I was like, oh, thank fucking God, man, because I really like Leonard Skinner, man. It's like, and it's like now with Ted Nugent and all of that. I mean, it's like I have lost so much, all my faith in him, and because he keeps talking and talking. Anyway, it's irrelevant. But anyway, it's weird learning the culture of a new place that you're living in.
Right. I feel you. It takes time to adjust.
Yeah.
I'm more or less adjusted, but it's just not easy when you go to another country at an older age.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
It takes time to for it to sink in.
Yeah, it takes time. Took me about 5-6 years, dude.
Well, at least the difference probably I have here is I had my whole family's here.
Yeah. Well, my whole family was here too.
Okay.
But the thing is, I was just, I don't know. I was, I really didn't. I don't know. I was just still. I may be homesick without me admitting it to myself, because I would just stay in the room. I wouldn't go out and socialize.
You'd isolate.
And isolate. I wouldn't go out of my way to learn the culture.
Okay.
Whereas now I'm soaking myself in this culture, because this is my home. This is my new home.
Right.
My Filipino culture is in my heart. It will never die. It will be there till I die.
That's right.
But my new home, I have to learn what happens in my new home. And our new home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's iba. We're immigrants, pare.
Exactly.
It's
more of a transplant.
More transplanted immigrant. We didn't really have to come.
Yeah, right. I just came here because of my family was here. My whole family moved. I was getting lonely back home. I was missing out on birthdays. I was missing out on Christmas. All the special occasions, and then I had grandkids that I was missing out on the growing up years. And
wow.
And
How old are your grandkids now?
I have a 7-year-old granddaughter called Shay, and then I have a grandson who's 5 years old. His name is Seth, from one daughter. And then my son has gifted us with a new grandson. His name is Solaris. He is like 5-6 months old. So
cool name, man.
And they don't have to see me drunk or stoned. That's the nice thing about it.
Right. Yeah.
They don't have. Well, I've been clean and sober, hitting my 19th year in July. So
Wow, congratulations,
I
man.
intend to stay on this wagon, man. You know, it's my it's my last. This is my last plane out, man, and I intend to keep it up one day at a time.
Yeah, dude. And you're in the right place, because
Yeah,
another good thing about this country is that when they, majority of people here, I would like to think is that when they see that you're struggling like that, you're a former drug addict, former alcoholic, whatever it is, that you're struggling with, they understand, man. They don't pressure. They don't, it's not like in the Philippines, they'd be like, ay, pucha, pare, yabang mo naman, di ka na,
Hindi ka
fucking guilt
nagsashot,
trip and
pare.
all of that shit.
Yeah,
So you have all of this temptation, whereas here,
right,
they understand, okay, you're a recovering whatever,
right.
They
They respect that.
they respect that,
And they give you the
your-
space. They don't offer you the drink.
They don't even bother, They won't even.
exactly.
They'll even ask you. It's like, dude, we're gonna go out. Do you want to come? But we're gonna be in a bar. It's like that. Pare.
Right. Well, I mean, AA has been around, in the United States since 1935, before the war. So or even earlier than that. So in the Philippines, I mean, the recovery is not as strong as it is here in the United States. So that's one thing. Here, there's so many meetings everywhere. A lot of 12-step meetings everywhere. I go to both. I go to NA. I go to AA.
So it's like whenever you need it, it's there, man.
Whenever I want it, it's there.
Yeah. And that's your fix.
That's my fix. Exactly. It's my church of choice, man. Basically,
dude.
It's,
I'm proud of you, Pat. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, man.
Really,
Thank you.
I know.
Thank
I'm
you, buddy.
sincerely
It isn't
sincerely
easy,
proud of you,
man.
Pat.
It isn't easy, being in this industry where, going to the
Dude.
same places where alcohol and drugs have cut you down.
Dude. I mean, there's some people who are trapped back there,
Yeah, right.
trapped in a cycle, man.
Yeah.
And like we just said, they're in a country that doesn't really give a shit,
Exactly.
not a country, but the culture itself. They don't. They shy away from it. He has problems. Just put him there, whatever.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's talk about the doctor, man. I wanna know because
Okay.
I only really met you because you're a little older than I am. So we
I'm
weren't in the same.
51. Yeah.
Oh, you're just 2 years older. But I
Okay.
mean, when you're younger, 2 years is a lot, because
Okay.
you're a
Yes,
different
that's
crowd.
right. That's right.
I'm in a different crowd.
Yes.
So I only met you when you were already the doctor in LA.
Right.
I hadn't met you before that.
Right.
And I did not know that you knew all of those guys, Miguel and all of them.
Well, I grew up with the guys I grew up with because I was born in Cebu, and every summer I would come to Manila, and I would stay in my cousin's house, DJ Carlos.
Oh, Carlos,
Right. He's my first cousin. Yeah, Carlos.
Oh, that's
Gaspar.
right. Yeah.
Right. So I met all the
Fucking
guys
miss that
because
guy, dude.
he's in Alaska right now, very happy. I talk to him once in a while. He's doing very well. He is. So I mean, of course, I partied out with his friends, and that's how I met Manuel Legarda of Wolfgang, your former bandmate.
Yeah.
I met Tirso Ripoll of Razorback. Well, Manuel is now with Razorback.
Yeah.
And Miguel Ortigas, original drummer of Razorback.
Right.
Now with Pig Dog,
Big dog, yeah.
Right. So we used to hang out all the time at Polo Club, man.
Yeah.
We'd drink there, we'd smoke out, with Disturb the IS chicks, the Brent. One of those things. And we would party out every night. It would always be at, I remember there was Andros. There was, if you want cheap beer, you go to Manang's or Tibbs.
Oh, Manang's, Tibbs,
And
yeah.
then we would,
oh,
and then we would go to Kublai's Rock,
Kublai's,
where everybody would meet because, like we were on allowance basis. I was working as a DJ already, but I was not earning that much, I mean, DJs were not paid that much. Plus we had no payola. So I mean, we had no extra money to for our booze. We're
No,
still
no,
allowance
no
basis.
tips.
Voila, man, nothing. No way.
No tips.
I never accepted it, man.
Wow, really?
I was against it. I never earned 1 peso from Payola. Never,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I was
Well,
against it, man.
that's corruption in the radio.
It is corruption, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't believe in it. I don't
Yeah.
want to play trash, you know, on the air. You know,
Yeah, for money.
Oh,
Tangina,
for
so
money,
that's
fuck
fucking that's cheap.
never,
man.
never
That's so
did,
fucking
man.
cheap,
Never
dude.
did. Exactly. So we'd go to Kublai's if we had extra money. We would go to Euphoria and Mars if we had chicks with us.
Yeah.
And then we'd probably end the night at Rufus.
Oh my god.
And Whistle Stop was already there, so
Yeah,
we'd
dude,
end up. Yeah, that's
Rufus.
basically, or in some motel, man. You know.
Yeah. In Pasig, pare.
Yeah, exactly. I remember Anitos was there.
Dude, the roof was right beside IS, right?
Right, that's the one,
Dude.
man. The
And
original.
right beside the Rufus, there's a burger machine, pare.
yeah.
Oh my
right, I
god,
know.
people our age are just like, oh my god, flashbacking, like fuck, you know. Yeah, those are the days, man. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it was just simple. It you go out and then you end up in Rufus. Everybody ended up there,
right.
you know.
Right.
And if it was full, you would go to the burger machine, and then I don't know. It was fun, man. So where were you a DJ in Cebu or here?
Yeah, I started as a DJ at Y101 in Cebu.
Oh,
This was in 1985. I had failed my third time in high school, man. Believe it or not, you know.
What year?
This was I became a DJ in 1985. I wanted to do it because I failed high school 3 times.
Oh, right. Okay.
And my dad was up to here, you know. I mean, he
Get a fucking
placed
job.
me he placed me in the best schools,
Yeah.
and I screwed it all up, and I ruined the whole thing because you know everybody before him was cum laude, summa cum laude, magna cum laude, you know, and I'm the guy that screwed it up, you know.
You're magna cum laude, pare.
So I said, I'm going to apply as a radio DJ. I would listen to this radio station called Y101, The Rhythm of the City. And this guys were really, really very good. I mean, and as early as 12 years old, I would be recording the American Top 40. I'd be listening to Casey Kasem all the
Fuck
time.
yeah,
you know?
me too,
I'd
man.
count them down, you know.
Yeah.
It's on 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And then the replay 5 to 9 on a Wednesday, you know.
Yeah.
So when I go to school on Monday, a lot of them who didn't catch the radio show of Casey Kasem would ask me, "What's the number one song, man, Ramon?"
Oh.
And I'd always tell them what the number one song was. I'd give them the top 10 because I would write it down.
Yeah.
And I would have a mock-up radio station in my room. I had cassette players. I had a turntable.
Big
And I would
ass.
play rock. I would play top 40 rock, everything, you know. With the
So you had
commercials of Y101. Yeah.
so you had 2 tape decks,
I had 3 tape decks.
Were they
3
tape decks or boom
Cassettes,
boxes?
Cassette boom
boxes?
Yeah, the boom boxes.
The
yeah,
bonus. You
the
had 3 of
square
those.
ones. Yeah, 3 of those, man.
Nice.
And I had 1 turntable with a cheap speaker, and I would rotate from a turntable to a cassette. You know,
Uh-huh.
see, so. And then I would record all the commercials that would air in Y101, including their promos, you know. So it was like a mock radio station. And
Wow.
Mhm.
Damn.
And then every time I would ride with my mom after school, we would pass by the building of Y101. They were back then in Danake building, in Osmeña Boulevard in Cebu, you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I would tell my mom, one day I'm going to work in that radio station, you know.
Wow.
So
how old were you when you?
I was 12 years old when I started telling my mom that. But
Yeah.
when I failed my 3rd time in high school, I said, you know, Cebu's a small place. You come from a buena familia, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. So I said I wanted to do something to prove to myself that, you know, I'm not a bum. I don't want people looking down at me.
Right.
I was carrying my father's family name, and he was very, very disappointed. So I said, I'm going to apply being a radio DJ. So I thought it was just a summer job, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I went there.
How old were you?
I was 15.
Okay.
So I went to the radio station. I was accompanied by a friend and my sister, my older sister, you know. And I applied, and they showed me to the station manager's office. And the guy sitting there was Johnny Kawa. He was the station manager, and he was one of the best radio DJs I've ever worked with. He was the best radio FM announcer in Cebu, man. You know.
Wow. What was his call?
His name was Johnny Kawa.
Johnny Kawa.
Kawa. Yeah, that's right.
Kawa. Wow.
Right,
Cool,
right,
man.
Right. So, he was in his office and he told me to sit down, and I asked him, I wanted to apply for a disc jockey's position. And he goes, "Why do you want to be a DJ? You're so young. You should be in school." And he asked me, "How old are you?" And I lied about my age. I told him I was 16 years old, and he goes,
that's still young, but then
yeah,
16.
I know, but it's a little better than 15.
Yeah,
there's that sweet
15,
16 song of Ringo Starr, that
Right,
makes
right.
So he said, I said, "Why do you want to be a DJ?" And I go, "Well, I think I can sound better than most of today's radio announcers, man. And I think with your proper training, I think you'll be able to get the best out of me,
Mm-hmm.
And I've always listened to the radio station. I know all the commercials. I know your songs. I listen to the American Top 40.
You had that mock DJ
I
booth.
told him that. I told him I do mock radio radio booth in my house, man. So he told me, you go to the the production room. There's Big Ron over there. He's gonna interview you and audition you. Okay, so I went there, met Big Ron, another great jock, more laid back, but he was pretty good. His former name was Rocky Rudolph. Then he changed it to Big Ron. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So he asked me questions, interviewed me, and he told me to do some ad libs over songs, slow songs, medium songs, fast songs. And then he told me to talk about a fire extinguisher for 1 hour. And I go, "What?" Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He showed, "This is a fire extinguisher. I'm going to give you 1 minute to talk about it, to think. And then after the minute's over, you talk about this for an hour,
Holy shit.
So I did. I said, "This is silly." And he goes, "I'll explain why after." So he left me there in the production room talking about this stupid fire extinguisher for 1 freaking hour.
So
man.
what were you talking about?
Just anything that I could connect with the fire extinguisher.
So you're describing the fire
I described
extinguisher?
it first, and then you start saying like, this fire extinguisher can be used for this, for that.
Okay, anything.
Anything connected with the fire extinguisher, no matter how crazy it is.
Any
They wanna
bola
check-
that you can come up with.
Exactly. They want to check what's on your brain, man.
Right, right.
'Cause they want to know if you have personality.
Right.
And so he explained the reason why he made me do that is because there are times that you are required to talk over songs that have very long intros. If you can talk about a fire extinguisher for an hour, you can talk about anything you want over that intro.
Right.
And when you end, the vocals come out. There
Right.
are some long songs like In Between Days Without You, The Cure.
Uh-huh.
You have It Hurts by the Lotus Eaters. Turn Up the Radio, Autograph, Take On Me, Aha.
Yeah.
They
You
have
have to
pretty
wait for
long
the
intros.
first verse.
Yeah. You can go all the way, or you can stop at certain points,
Yeah.
Now the nice thing about what Y101 had is that it had a timer, as to when the vocals come out, and you had some notes on the songs label. We were using cartridges,
Right.
So and he goes like, if you decide to do hosting later on, and there are technical problems, and you have to stretch, you have to ad lib.
Right.
If you have the 1 hour thing behind your back, that if you can talk about a fire extinguisher for an hour, then you can talk to anybody that's watching you from the stage.
Right.
It becomes easier because you got more mechanics going for you, man.
Yeah, dude.
And-
And that's your signature, man. You're just like on all the time. It's like how I mean, you look at the cue card every now and then, but then you're just going, man. You're just jamming,
Right. That comes with a lot of practice also, So So I go back to the after the interview, I go back to Johnny Kawa's office, and he goes, "Don't call us, we'll call you."
Oh shit.
So I'm like, okay, I don't think I made it, man.
Yeah.
So I went back, cocktail. I don't think I made it, but I tried,
Yeah.
Puta, the next day they fucking called up, man.
Dude, you were
Called up.
16. You're
I was
16,
15.
man.
I was 15.
Or 15.
Yeah.
Every other 15-year-old was fucking either jacking off or fucking whatever. And
Well,
you went for a job interview, pare.
right, right. Bob Magoo was 15 years old when he became a DJ too. He was. He used to
Wow.
hang out. He used to hang out in the studios all the time at DZRJ. He would
Ah.
cut class, hang out in the studios, and when they
Oh.
needed a DJ, there was Bob Magoo right there. He knew everything. He knew how
Yeah.
to. Sometimes they would make him spin records when they would go out for maybe to smoke a joint or
Oh shit, man!
or take a
Shit, I
dump.
gotta, because he was on the podcast with him.
Right,
and
right.
Heiner.
I listened to the interview. Very
Yeah,
good. Man.
shit.
Yeah.
I gotta ask him about that, man, because he didn't mention that at all.
He was
Shit.
15, man. Howlin' Dave was 17. I think Big Jim was also 17. So
Wow.
so going back to the Y101 story, they call
Right.
they call us. I'm like, shit, I couldn't believe my ears. He goes, when can you train? And we need your parents' authorization. We need a letter from your parents.
Right.
So I said yes, I can start tomorrow. I with or my parents without my parents' consent, man. I was gonna go for it, man. I didn't care. This was my dream, man. That dream was arrived.
Yeah.
So my mom, I told my mom, and she talked to my dad. My dad was against it, man. He goes, my dad wanted to be an executive like him, businessman.
shit,
But that was
my
not my cup of tea,
God.
man.
Yeah.
It was boring, man.
Oh yeah.
So-
Yeah. I get it,
So,
dude.
so my mom's told my dad, look, your son has failed high school 3 times, okay? He wants to prove something. Let him try it. My dad said, no, he becomes a DJ. He's going to go the wrong way, the wrong direction,
Yeah.
And my mom defended my dreams,
Uh-huh.
and my training started, and I would go to the radio station at night to start my training. I would train from 12:30 in the morning up to 5:30. This was during the sign off.
Okay. Yeah. Graveyard shift. Yeah. Great.
So
yeah.
I would go to the radio station around 10 p.m. My
And
mom
they would actually go off the air, right?
they'd go off the air so I can use
Yeah.
all the equipment, but I had to shut it down for 30 minutes. It cools down,
Right.
So I would watch the last guy on board. His name was John M, who, by the way, is still with Y101 until today. He's like the last of the dying breed
Wow.
at Y101, and he would go from 10 to 12, and then on weekends he'd go from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Okay, because we would go until 2 a.m. on weekends. We were not 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I would train, and for 2 weeks I was just saying call letters Y101 for 5 hours, Wolf. 5 hours, man. Y101, Y101, Y101. Recording it. Puta, I kid you not. 2 fucking weeks, pare. Y101, Y101.
For 2 weeks every
2
day,
weeks.
5 hours.
Every day, weekdays, man. 5 hours for 2 weeks.
Holy
like,
shit!
When am I going to graduate from call letters, man?
Oh my god! Wait,
and the reason-
wait. So wait a minute. So
Yeah.
in that 5 hours, is there a break in there?
I take a break for probably 5 to 10 minutes in between, and then after that,
How long? After 2 hours or? after an
I
hour?
go the whole 5 hours of recording call letters. That's it.
Oh, no break.
No, a 10-minute break probably. In between hours.
Oh my god, dude!
I know why 101.
Wow.
Why
And that's-
101?
And that's standard training for a radio DJ,
Well, they really trained you.
or did they haze you?
Well, I don't know if it was part hazing or training. Back then you didn't know because
yeah.
these guys were trying to get the best out of you, because you have to consider that these guys took a risk when
Or
they
maybe
got,
they were that was a test too.
it could be a test on how long
Yeah.
you would if you would live up to expectations and stick to
Right.
what they're training.
Yeah.
So they kept me doing that for 2 weeks, and then because there are a lot of radio DJs who cannot pronounce call letters properly.
Yeah.
And if you can't pronounce your call letters properly, you have no business being in radio.
Yeah, man.
So, and then from there, they kept me. After I graduated from that, I started talking off air, still training, just Y101 from the introduction, and end with Y101 before the vocals come out. Slow songs, medium songs, fast songs. At the same time, I was being trained to use the equipment,
Right.
the log and everything, And then from there, I would do title artist ad libs. You start with the call letters, the time, your radio DJ name, the title and the artist of the song, and you end with the call letters. That's it. That's
All right. Wait,
song to song.
I hate doing this, but
Yeah.
this would be a classic.
Okay.
A sample from Y101, the doctor from Y101, not LA105, but Y101.
All right. Well, I was using Dr. Walla Walla back then.
Really?
That's another
Dr.
story.
Walla Walla?
I was using Dr. Walla. It's WALLA-WALLA.
And what was that? What?
2 years. Well, it was a name that they would give their trainees, man. So let's say Wolf, you were training with Y101, you'll be using Wolf Walla Walla. Okay. It's horrible.
So you were Ramon Walla Walla or the Doctor Walla Walla?
Training. It was Ramon Walla Walla.
Okay.
And then they asked me to give them a list of some names, DJ names, man. So I gave them a name that this guy, the Johnny Kawa, told me, like RZ, the Nighthawk Jensen. I go, RZ's Ramon Zialcita. The Nighthawk is because I'm going to be on at night. And Jensen, because it's a brand of speakers, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And he goes, that's one of the fucking worst names I've ever heard in my life. You're going to be called Dr. Walla Walla. Puta, right there and then I wanted to quit, but Walla Walla is a place 5 hours from Seattle, Washington, man. Walla Walla, Washington. But you're in the Philippines. But Walla Walla sounds you're like, wala, wala. Puta, I failed high school 3 times. And then you're going to have that fucking name with you pa. And can you imagine you get old and they're going to call you, Oi, Walla Walla, Walla Walla. I don't want to be called that. It's already enough that I got lost in life and you're going to have to rub it in, man. Horrible, man. You want... So the sample of a title artist ad-lib is Y101, 233, Dr. Walla Walla in the afternoon. Those are simple minds. Don't you forget about me on the rhythm of the city, Y101.
And then vocals come in.
No, well, you can only do a title artist ad lib. So whether the vocals come in or not, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
because you're only restricted. That's from a song to song. Now going to a station break, you start off with the title. I mean, you start off with the call letters, the title, and the artist of the song, and then you end with the time. All right, that's it.
Oh, the time.
Okay, yeah, you end with the time. So Y101, don't you forget about me, Simple Minds. It's 2:35.
All right, yeah.
Something like that, man.
Yeah, I love those. I love those spiels, man.
Now later, you can incorporate things. You can play around with the title artist ad-lib. But if you listen to radio stations like RT, Y101, DZRJ, they basically had that as part of their piece, man.
Right.
As compared to the other radio stations, So there was more of a system placed,
So you had what was that? What was your time slot when you started?
Oh, I was.
Wait. How long did you train before they let you on air?
Like almost 6 months to get on the air.
Wow.
5 to 6 months, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it took long.
Talagang kinarati kid ka.
I was making their coffee. I was getting their songs, man. I was even vacuuming the floor. Puta, I wanted to protest already because, hey, man, I didn't come here to fucking be a janitor, pare. Diba? Man. I didn't come here for this. But, it was like what you said, hazing. And I was there with guys who were much older than I am, and they were all very good, man.
Yeah.
Very good DJ.
I guess they wanted to see seryoso ba to, this kid, because you were a kid, man. You were a teenager.
I was a kid.
So
in fact, like when I would be finally on board, the advertisers would come into the radio station. They would see me, and then they would go down and talk to the station manager. Said, "Who's that kid in the booth? We're throwing in millions of pesos for advertising, and you're putting a kid in to handle our commercials."
You were doing the commercials.
Of course, I was on board already. Yeah.
You were okay. Right.
On the air, man.
Shit. Was your well? Of course, you were 15, so your voice was not
very high. Of course,
it's still high.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my god, man!
Kid, high pitched, more livelier.
So it wasn't Y101.
No,
It was like Y101.
The first song I talked on, finally, because they would listen to my air checks every day. I would be recording on Graveyard,
Right.
Air check is a tape of live broadcast or audition broadcast, but more of live broadcast. But this is off the air, and they would grade me. They would sit down with me and they would listen to it and tell me, you shouldn't have done this. You should have done it this way. I didn't understand what you said here. You ate your words here.
Yeah.
So you're not yet ready. Let's see tomorrow again. So they would always wait. Tomorrow, and then we moved to Cebu Plaza Hotel, man. From the building, we moved to Cebu Plaza Hotel.
Right. Yeah.
All the radio stations wanted to be in Cebu Plaza Hotel because they had that hotel, and we could put our antenna on top of the tower, man.
Yeah.
So that's where I made my debut, man.
Wow.
Johnny Cow walks in one night and tells me, like, Ramon, I want you to open your mic already. You're gonna start talking tonight. Put 10 minutes before my board work, man. You're gonna talk tonight, okay? Wow. And I'm gonna be downstairs because he had a room in Cebu Plaza Hotel. Our offices were there. He had a room there, I'd be listening down in the office. If you fuck up, I'm gonna come back here and ball you out,
Shit,
So I went on the air. I called my mom, Mom, listen to me. I'm gonna go on the radio finally,
Shit. What time was this? The
10
thing?
p.m. 10 p.m.
Oh, 10 p.m.
10 p.m. to 12.
Wow.
So the first song I played was Undercover of the Night by the Rolling Stones.
Wow. Tang ina.
So that's it, man.
Wow, dude.
That's where it started,
So how long did you stay there?
I was with
I mean, wait. No. Let's not. I don't want to go fast forward too much.
Sure.
No. Because it's fascinating that you're a 15-year-old DJ, dude.
Yeah.
That's very unique. I mean, you don't hear stories like that. I guess, of course, like Howlin' Dave, you said was 17, and Magoo was 15 too. But I mean. See, still, you're only 3 people that I know it started when they were teenagers.
There's North Andrew, who was 16. North, I worked with him at 99.5 RT. He was 16.
Yeah, I know North Andrew, yeah.
He was with 99 Rock. He was known as the Iceman.
The Iceman, yeah.
Right. Before he went to
dude. Yeah, those. That's one thing I liked about, I'm just lamenting the Philippines had DJ personalities, up until the 90s, that era of the Doctor, the Ghost, and all of those guys. And then after that, it like when LA left, and then NU had some good DJs, but some of them were not that good. But a lot, some of them had personalities. It was all about personality for me, because growing up too, I would go to the province for summer, in Iloilo, and then I'd be, in the afternoon hanging out. I'm 15, when I would go there for summers, and I'd just be hanging out in the afternoon, nothing to do. But my my grandma, would be in the same room listening to AM radio.
Okay.
It's either the news, because she was a news junkie, she was a political junkie.
All right.
Or those dramas that they have in AM radio.
Yeah.
Or whatever, the news. And those AM DJs, they're like, they've got the voice. If there's a voice, it's all those AM radio dudes. They got it, man. Mm-hmm. So I was exposed to DJs, same thing. And then when I discovered radio, because I was a latecomer with radio, I only discovered radio when I was in the 7th grade.
Okay.
Someone said, because I'm the eldest, so my influencers are my parents.
Yeah.
So, and they were Frank Sinatra people,
Okay. Yeah. Same
so that's my thing, Yeah. So there's a gap, right?
Right.
You don't really. I wasn't exposed to radio because all we did was listening to records at home.
Yeah.
And when a friend of mine in 7th grade, classmates, like talking about 99.5 RT, which was the hottest station at that time in 1983, I think, 84.
Right.
And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, "What am I talking about? The radio." I'm like, what's on the radio?" And then I had no idea that, because I was used to listening to AM radio, which was all spoken word,
Mm-hmm. Talk. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all talk
Mostly
radio.
talk,
Yeah, like what we're doing right now.
Right.
And I did not know anything about FM. And then when I discovered FM, oh shit. I'm like,
Change the world. Yeah.
fucking music for free?
Uh-huh.
And that's when it started. I would tape songs off the radio because I can't afford cassettes, when you're a kid.
Right, of course.
And then one of those things, and then I discovered FM DJs.
Uh-huh.
You had Jeremiah Jr., you had North Andrew, the RT guys.
Yeah.
And then from 97.1 WLS, you had,
Right.
I think the Ghost was still there.
The Ghost was, I think, at XB 102.7.
Oh, XB. Who was the head DJ in LS?
You had Jimmy Jam, who was there. He was the rocker there. You had the Mole.
Jimmy
you had
Jam.
guys
The
like
Mole.
Man,
There you go, the Mole. Yeah.
and some other guys,
So when I was growing up, and then I discovered FM radio,
Yeah.
there were all these personalities on the radio, and you were probably already doing it in Cebu at that time.
Yeah.
Because I'm younger than you are.
Think about Iloilo, man. I lived in Iloilo for 9 years. Huh?
Oh, really?
Well, I went to Assumption Convent.
Oh, wow.
Man, before the horns came out, man.
Yeah, that's what, my sister graduated. She didn't graduate high school there, but she went to something
9
there.
years. Yeah, 9 years in Iloilo.
Wow.
Okay. So
Cool, man.
going back.
Yeah. So what I was saying is like, I love DJs, dude. I fucking love DJs, man, because each DJ has his or her own personality.
Right.
And they have their own musical taste. So
Right.
yeah, there's the playlist, but then they'll put in their whatever, their own thing every now and then. Especially if it was late at night when there were no rules. You didn't have a playlist late at night, and then somehow it all got lost. It all just became one generic voice, either female or male, that is trying its hardest to do an American accent, and it's not the real voice of or real accent of that DJ.
Right. It's not natural.
It's not natural. It doesn't come out natural. I mean, even though like Jeremiah Jr. and Vincent Price and all of those guys, they had American accents, but it came natural to them.
Very natural. Yeah. Right.
It didn't sound trying hard,
Right.
I guess
That's the way they talk to you. The same thing, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's natural for them to switch that accent on, that radio American accent.
Right.
And of course, I was exposed to Casey Kasem, who was a great voice. I mean, his voice is like wow. And then later on, I discovered Wolfman Jack. And then I'm like, holy shit, this guy sounds like the devil, pare. He sounds like Satan. Like, I love it. And then, I love DJs, man. I really, really love DJs. And there's still some DJs here in the States that are still hanging on to their personalities, but it's very rare. And, so how long did you, was it smooth sailing? Was your training good when you started doing your regular thing?
Well, I almost lost my job on my first year, man, because this was during the Filipino Independence Day, man. I remember we had to use turntables, and we were trained to use turntables, but we were spoiled. The CD was not yet there. This is 1985. The CD came out in 1986.
Yeah.
And I was not really used to, playing, records, man. We were
vinyl,
101,
Yeah.
But it was Independence Day, and we had to play Filipino songs for the whole day, and we didn't have enough Filipino songs on cart.
Right.
Y101 supported Filipino music, but not in the way that an LA rock would support Filipino music. Yeah. This was music that if it sounded closer to the foreign, they would play it, man.
Oh,
Not
right.
to say that all the songs were in English. There were also Tagalog songs and a lot
Yeah.
of great songs that I played. I got to play Juan de la Cruz at Y11. I got to play Local Brown. I got to play this band called Dinosaur. But we couldn't play songs from Asin because it was just too masa back then. Not masa, but we didn't want to play music that spews out acid.
It was too real.
It was too real for
Yeah.
FM radio. I mean, at least
Yeah.
for Y101. Although I think Asin is one of the greatest bands.
Of course.
ever.
Yeah, dude.
So, in my rush of trying to cue a record, man, I accidentally got an Imelda Papin record, man. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, all the records were just there, scattered. 33 long plays, and I was just panicking, because I was not used to using records. They were just there for emergency purposes, man, in case our cartridge machines screw up, man. So, and then I played it on the wrong speed, man.
Oh, you put it on 45?
Yeah. So, the Poppins sounded like Jumidis Maturan, man.
They sound like the Chipmunks.
No, it sounded like a man because I placed it on.
It's slower on a slower
slow,
speed.
so it sounded like a guy. So I'm like, and I never knew who Imelda Papin was back then, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know who she was. I didn't have no idea who Imelda Papin was, man. I'm like, and of course, so I got in trouble. Number one, of playing Imelda Papin over Y101 because she was considered bakya, man.
Okay.
And I played it on the wrong speed, so she sounded like a man. Okay. And then I left my microphone off. And I got electrocuted by the turntable. There was this ground, man.
Oh, shit.
So I cursed on the air, and the KBP heard it, man.
Oh, no.
So they called my station manager reporting that at this particular time that your DJ that was on said the word FUCK, man.
Wow, it was fucked pa, no?
Told me, Ramon, I think you're going to lose your job for doing that.
Oh, shit.
Sharing it. I said, Johnny, I'm really sorry, man. I didn't mean to do it. I was a kid, man. Please give me a chance. Please don't get. You have to explain in writing 24 hours. I still had a copy of that letter somewhere, not in its physical form, but I have a copy of it. I took a screenshot of it because, they found it much later on in life, and they showed it to me, and I took a screenshot of it. Explaining why they shouldn't fire me. So what Johnny Kawa did is talk to every DJ at the radio station, asking whether we should give Dr. Walla Walla a second chance. And they all said yes. Let's give that kid a chance. Come on.
Wow, pare.
He reinstated me after a few days. Told me to be careful. Make sure your mic is closed. Don't curse on the air. Don't make that a habit of cursing on the air. You're supposed to set an example. So I learned from that, and the same year, December of 1985, we had our Christmas party, and he was giving awards. And I won the Best DJ of the Year award in 1985, man.
Wow.
And I remember
all of Cebu. This is all of Cebu.
No. This is just for the radio station.
Okay.
It's just for the radio station. So I was able to, to beat. I mean, I didn't do it for competition. I was able to beat the guys that were training me, man.
Yeah,
on my first year. Wow. And I was so happy. I got so smashed. I remember going to Boom Disco because I won a box of Marlboro Lights, and I got 500 pesos. And back then, beer was only 5 pesos. Pare.
They're giving 15-year-old fucking Rimofiosi, pare. Shit. I
was 16 already at that time.
Okay, wait.
So I remember I was sitting down in that place where you piss, man, in the bathroom of Boom Disco, which later became By Disco at Cebu Plaza Hotel.
Right.
I was shaking everybody's hand. I was so drunk. I was holding a beer like, hey, man, I'm so happy I won the Best DJ of the year. Call me up. My name's Dr. Walla Walla. I'll play your song.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
pang sine yun ah. Shit.
Yeah, okay. So that was there were ups and downs, definitely. That was one of the that's basically what got me more serious. Like I think losing your job. You didn't want to lose your job. You didn't want to fuck it up. I fucked up school, man.
Yeah.
Didn't want to fuck this up. It's the only thing.
I mean, in life is like that. It's gonna give you a curveball to just wake you up. It's like, hey, you gotta keep on your toes. Especially if it's a job, right?
Yeah.
So, how long did that gig last?
With Y101, lasted for 2 years, 1985 to 1987. My dad was going to move to Manila because he was promoted. He was going to be the president of the company. In Cebu, he was just a city manager.
Right.
So he was going to be vice president. So he took the job. And we moved to Manila. And I remember showing up at 99.5 RT the following day, because they sent some stuff for me to bring to RT,
The same owners, right?
Same owners, yeah. Emilio Tuason was the owner.
Tuason,
yeah, right. So, and then they had an opening, so they trained me right away. And in less than a week, I was on board. I took the place of Al W. Leader. I got to work with Al W. Leader, I
don't remember him.
Al W. Leader is the guy he was with Kiss Jazz. He's a very good announcer. He's the guy you hear, the continuity voice announcer of who does the plugs for GMA Channel 7.
Oh, wow.
He does it right now from Canada, until now.
That's him.
Yeah.
Wow, that same voice from back.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's very good. He's very good.
What's his name?
Well, his real name is Al Torres, but his DJ name was Al W. Leader. Leader. Yeah.
So you moved. So the whole family moved to Manila.
Yeah, the whole family moved. We followed after 6 months. My dad moved first, got everything set, and then we moved. But I was in RT like less than a week after I left Y101.
Wow.
They were sister stations. I was doing graveyard at the start, to learn everything, the equipment, and then I was brought to prime time 6 to 10 in the evening.
Uh-huh.
I was with Bob Magoo there. I was with North Andrew, Bob Curry, Obi Hollywood Andrew was there. The Mighty Thor.
Thor. Oh my God, these guys. Obi Hollywood Andrew. I remember that guy.
Right.
Dude, this is how fucking I was so into radio at the time. Okay. I was maybe 16. Yeah, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I was into Madonna, because she was fucking hot, right? I mean, she was the hottest chick at that time, right?
Totally, man.
So me being 16, 15, 16, siya, yun na yun, di ba? So I would listen to, and every time Madonna would come on RT, my dick would get hard, pare. Like, oh, Madonna, pare. And then I would always try and request that particular song, which was popular at the time. And I didn't know how it worked. I thought that you would call and then you say, "Oh, can you play this song?" And then you hang up, and then the next song is going to be your song.
No, it doesn't work that way. Everything was playlisted in RT, man.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. So what I would end up doing is like, after 10 minutes of the request, I'd hang up and then wait for the song. It's like, tangina, ito na.
Yeah,
this song's gonna come up. After 10 minutes, after like 4 or 5 songs, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and then I'd call the station again, and they would pick up because they would pick up. I'd be like, can you play the same song that I requested like 10 minutes ago or whatever, 5 songs ago? And then finally, whoever was on there, I think it was Vincent Price. It's like,
okay.
It's like, we're gonna play your song soon, okay? So, you don't have to call every 10 minutes or whatever. Yeah. And eventually, they played it like an hour later, man. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna bother these guys anymore. I somehow kind of realized, okay, there's a system.
There's a system, yeah.
There's a system that they have to follow. It's not just it's like the whole city's not fucking calling to request a song, and that's what
if it's a song in the top 20, well, just to let you know, the fastest rotation time would be once every 4 hours. Okay,
Uh-huh.
all right. I mean the
Oh,
playlist.
you have to. So every 4 hours, you have to.
That's the fastest a song would rotate on air to get played. Okay.
Uh-huh.
At one, like if this song was in the top 10, top 20
Yeah.
countdown,
Yeah.
it would get aired once every 4 hours.
Right.
Okay. If it airs like once every 2 hours or once every 3 hours, may payola ng station na yan, man.
Wow, ganun.
Ganun.
Wow.
So,
So
mas
the most
mabilis yung
so the
rotation.
most popular it can get without payola is once every hour.
No, you don't. Well,
Once every 4 hours, I mean.
Yeah, once every 4 hours. Yes.
Yeah, once every 4.
That's the fastest. Yeah.
Without corruption.
With no corruption. Yeah. Based on charts.
I mean, that's normal, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't want to fucking oversaturate the song, you know?
You don't want to, and you got other songs to play that are also as good. You know.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I think that's how, I guess, how album oriented radio became like that, because there was no payola. So, I'll play fucking LA Woman, 7 minutes long, walang pake. Diba?
Yeah. Right.
So, that's cool, man. So by this,
The playlist, that's all, bro. We're really strict. I was trained to be a program director in Cebu. I was music director. I was the assistant of Johnny Kawa, who trained me to program 99.5 RT. So I was programming RT at 17 years old.
oh my God, dude. I was probably listening. That was the era. That was the time I was listening to that station, man.
And there was a lot of rock on the charts that time. A lot. Of rock.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was that era. There was a lot of rock in mainstream music.
Right.
I mean, even the Eurythmics wrote that. You remember that song, "Would I Lie to You"?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That's a rock song, man.
It is.
And it's like, Eurythmics, that's new wave. Bigla lang rock and roll, pare,
Yeah.
So that mid before 1988, that 85,
Right,
86,
85,
87.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, because 88, wala na. That's all heavy metal na yan, pare. GNR came out and all of that. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, before we go forward, I wanna who influenced you to be what was the spark? It's like me. I always say that the spark that let me realize that I wanted to do this in my life was watching Freddie Mercury in Live Aid.
Right.
That's my spark. What was your spark?
My spark to become a radio DJ.
Yeah.
Well,
because that's your identity now. That's who you are. So what was the spark?
I don't know if there was a spark or not. It's just that I just was very fascinated on music and radio, and I don't see any spark, Wolf.
Not one
Because
light bulb moment.
There are just some people, like with my station manager, because I was asked this question before, and I don't know what the spark was. I just wanted to prove something that I could do it. I failed high school 3 times.
Right.
I wanted to be in radio. Don't get me wrong. I really wanted to be a radio DJ. So my station manager said, there are just some guys who were born to be on the radio,
Yeah.
So I don't know what that spark is, man,
So it just I guess it was just there, I guess. It was just there.
It just fell in place. But I followed my dreams. It was a dream,
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, you made a makeshift DJ booth.
Yeah. Well, it was just a bed,
Yeah, no, same thing, dude. I mean, my if you would convert that to my life, I was playing air drums.
Right.
I was pretending to perform already at the same age that you were building a makeshift or imaginary radio station,
Right.
So it was you had a vision in your mind of what you wanted to do in your life, man.
The spark, I don't know. I don't think I ever had that spark. It was just to prove something back then, but I really wanted to be one. I mean, I guess that was probably the spark that said, let's do it now, let's do it now.
Oh, let's
I
do it
want to do
now.
something
Right.
to myself because I failed high school 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm a bum. I'm a loser. I don't want to. I don't want to feel that way, bro.
Yeah. 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 That's
I
cool,
just didn't
man.
like school. I just didn't like school. I hated school, man. I just
Yeah.
hated.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you're not the only one,
Yeah, I
man.
know. I know. I don't want to use my brains for something that I'm not interested in. It's a
Right.
waste of time.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I mean, that's fucking. I mean, if you think about it,
Yeah.
that's what people our age go to therapy for, pare. They want to fucking find out what the fuck am I supposed to do with my fucking
Right.
life.
Right. Right.
But for us, like you and I and other people that have guested on this show, they all started early.
Yeah.
Most of them started early. And I think it's very lucky that we're very fortunate that we got a vision of our life at an early age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we didn't let go of it.
Yeah.
It's like it was always, I want to be a drummer, I want to be a performer, I want to be a rock DJ, I want to be I want to be an announcer, whatever.
To also consider it was also the exposure of being with legends, because these guys got the best out of you.
Yeah.
You're being shaped by your influences, man.
Bro, you had mentors, man.
And the mentors that I had, I was so lucky. I had Bob Magoo, I had Johnny Kawa, I had The Shadow, I had Bob Curry, I had Jeremiah Jr., Vince St. Price, man.
Bob Curry. Oh my God, I remember the name.
The best of both worlds all around you, man. And with that exposure, you have to be on your toes because you were there with legends.
Yeah.
Guys were really, really good. And of course, we also worked with Americans and Canadians and the British. So we also had that white consultancy, plus listening to the air checks of US radio DJs, man.
Yeah.
I would listen to Rick Dees, Scott Shannon, and
Rick Dees, man.
try to imitate these guys, and we would know where we stand. These guys were like, wow, man. An American DJ can say more words in a few seconds than a Filipino DJ can, man, because it's their language.
Yeah, because it's their language. Yeah,
Language is their native tongue, man.
Yeah.
Although we think in English, we were still raised in the Philippines, so
yeah. And we still have to work a little bit to put that accent in there.
right.
Right.
Right. We're trained for that. How to modulate voice. I had to go to a piano to find my voice range. All that. Listen to it.
Wow.
So it was. My mentors were very meticulous, and they were very. They wouldn't just put you on air just like that. Not like what they do today. Like anybody can just be
exactly. That is my point, dude.
Control anymore, man.
Voila, dude. And you can tell, and you can hear it.
You can tell.
It's like, what the fuck?
There's some good ones too, but not like the ones before. But
No. The thing is, the big difference is, if you can name all these DJs, fucking the Doctor, the Ghost, the Mole, Bob Magoo, Vince St. Price, Jeremiah Jr., so many, and they're all different from one another.
Right.
My gosh, you can't name one DJ nowadays. No, hell no. I mean, unless you listen to that particular DJ every day when you go to work, then you know.
Yes.
But there's no. I mean, the Doctor in LA 105, you had your own fans, man. DJs had their own followers. We'll talk about it later on, but I remember when you fucking told the fucking punks to go to fucking Mega Mall and beat up hip hop dudes, man. Wait.
I didn't say to beat them up. I just said go mess with them, man. I didn't tell them to beat them up. They are responsible for their actions. What we did, what DZRJ did in the 70s, it was death before disco, man.
Oh, right. So in
the 90s, the hip hop was like the disco of that particular generation, man. And the punks were like, these guys were always angry, and like fucking act it out na konyo, di ba? I didn't tell them to beat them up, man.
No. I know you didn't tell them to say beat them up, but they beat them up.
No, we stopped when one of them got killed. One hip hop got killed. That's when we stopped. Yeah, there was.
Shit.
We saw it in the news. The punks killed this hip hopper. It was in some tabloid, and then there was something that said it must have been triggered by this radio
shit.
station that was, promoting, that's against hip hop culture and all that.
Yeah.
We decided to stop. I mean, we didn't know it was gonna go that far. I mean, we
Yeah.
control stuff like that, man.
No, I mean that's why. That's what I mean. I mean that's the point.
I don't think we stopped. We kind of toned it down for a while.
You toned it down.
I mean, we didn't totally stop, but we
You didn't tell them to go to a particular place. We saw
No,
hip hop.
There's a lot of hip hoppers in Mega Mall. You see these guys because Mega Mall was so near. It was Robinson near the radio station and Mega Mall,
Right.
and we see all these guys that are wearing this Lau pants that we didn't agree with. And it was just a gimmick, bro, just to get more attention.
Of course.
It was death before disco, basically the same. thing.
Yeah. But yeah, of course, yeah, and I get it. Of course, you can't control the actions of people,
Yeah.
And but I mean, the point there is that that's how fucking influential you became, pare. I mean, you were because I know. I mean, I felt it, man. I was because I was a listener of LA 105. I wasn't just listening for my music to be played.
Okay,
I was listening to the fucking station, man.
Yeah,
I would listen to you and the Ghost, and I was like, oh my god, the Ghost, man, his accent is so bad, dude. I can't understand anything he's saying, or whatever stuff like that. But I was a regular listener because I wasn't really into what NU and 107 was playing, because they were playing. They were still playing a lot of new wave, which I was kind of over with already.
Yeah.
And you guys were just coming up, and then you would play people. Then when you started playing Razorback, and they were like, okay, it was starting to become close.
Yeah.
But anyway, I will go to LA a little later on. But
sure,
I mean, I just wanted that it was just so funny that when the And like my point is that you had a lot of influence because of your conviction. Because if you said the same thing half-assed, you'd be like, tangina naman, baduy naman ting DJ na to, ano ba gusto nito? Diba? But then when it came from the doctors, like, fuck, we're going to Mega Mall right fucking now, man. We're hunting hip hop people. I mean, of course, it got kind of out of control, but it was if you see the funny side of it, it's kind of funny, It's
I know.
funny,
It was
dude.
funny. I remember I would put all these guys on air and make them talk and curse at this hip hop. It was just like a segment called the Hip Hop Attack. They would call the station, and I'd put them on the air all in a row.
Yeah.
All in a row, like for 3-4 minutes.
Oh my god, dude.
They'd air their grievances. I thought if they do this, they would probably not act it out physically with the hip hops, since they already got
Yeah.
up,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of course, I mean, I should have known better back then, but back then I was also stoned. I was in another planet sometimes.
Yeah, right.
I was practically stoned almost every day, man.
Yeah, well, same here, man. Same here, dude. So anyway, so RT, where was your next? Where was your next journey after RT?
RT, I was there for a year, and then
you were 17.
I was 17 and 18, 17, 18. Yeah, okay. The thing what really annoyed me with RT was that I was being accused of taking payola, and for me that was very insulting.
Shit, yeah, man.
Not paid very well. Okay, I was program director. We were subscribing to the hit discs, man, the Century 21 hit discs, and we were even ahead of the U.S. radio stations with releases because it would always arrive. We were doing top 40 countdowns, man. We had Casey Kasem and we had Rick Dees, and then we had future hits, man. So
wait a minute. Excuse me. So during that time, you're already program director.
Yeah, program director. Yeah.
So you were 17. I was 15 at that time.
Right.
So what I was listening to was fucking you, man. That was you. You were,
me and Obi Hollywood Andrew, because that was a transition,
No, but I mean, you were managing the, you were directing.
Yeah, I was doing the playlist. I would everything, the whole playlist
man.
of RT was my responsibility back then. Okay.
Wow.
And it was a very challenging because I was working with guys who were much better than I was, and they were all my idols, and they were veterans, and they would some of them gave me a hard time,
Oh, really?
Give me a hard time. They would, some of them would just steal my programming clock, and I would Xerox a lot of copies because when that would go missing, man, I would have to put another one up,
Right.
We had program clocks to follow, We were playing CDs also, so you had to cue the right track on the CD. And I was listening. I was going to school, so I would be listening to the station with one earphone, man, and the other one listening to what's happening in the classroom. I was monitoring the radio station, calling them up if they played the wrong song or they stole the song because I had a copy of the playlist. Yeah, of course.
What do you mean you were in school? You went back to school?
Yeah. No, I was studying.
Oh.
I was studying while this was going on.
Oh, okay. So you did go back to school.
I finished school. I finished high school.
Oh, right on.
I never went to college. I went to a school that would allow morning or afternoon sessions. You choose.
In Manila.
In Manila, yeah.
Wow.
In Cebu also, I also chose a dumping ground school.
Right.
And that's where we all ended up, man.
Yeah.
Just to get the diploma. So my dad keeps quiet already.
Yeah. Right.
He's graduate from high school,
Yeah.
I'm not asking for high grades. Just give me passing grades, man.
Yeah. Just give me a diploma.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Let me tell you, man.
Yeah.
Because those years that you were doing that.
Yeah.
I was my mind was my musical mind was being opened every day. I would listen to whatever playlist and then whatever's popular because and like what we said earlier, the mainstream music of the time was so good.
Yeah, it was.
It was so good, man. It wasn't cheesy at all. Good songs. So when I would listen to America's Top 40, it's just 40 songs that are just good, and getting better as the numbers get smaller.
Right.
Diba? And by the time you get to top 5, it's Michael Jackson, it's fucking Phil Collins, it's it's like fuck.
Right.
Diba?
Right. U2 was there.
U2, yeah.
Smith was there. John Cougar Mellencamp, Steve Winwood.
Winwood, yeah, back in the high life, dude.
Yeah, Taylor Dane,
Taylor Dane,
Tiffany,
Tell It to My Heart. Oh my god, yeah, yeah, man. So wow, yeah. Just so you know, when you were doing that, I was having like just the time of my life discovering music every day. And because I was a latecomer to FM radio, so yeah, man, shit, man, it's really, man, you accomplished a lot. It's you're 17, you're already programming the fucking, and the thing is, when you do that, when you're because you're a DJ, it's like when you're program director, you're like a fucking actual DJ in a club.
Yeah.
Playing the music and you're controlling the emotions of the people with the music.
Right. And we were basing it on 2 charts. We were basing it on Billboard and Radio and Research magazine, R&R magazine.
Which was US also?
Yeah, US also. Rick Dees would base his charts on R&R, and Casey Kasem would be Billboard magazine. So we would base them in both charts.
Wow.
That's it. So we were ahead, and being accused of payola at that time was very insulting. I mean,
why would they? Why? I mean,
he
why?
was paranoid. He was on drugs that time. He was on drugs. He was. The station is going down. The DJs were leaving one by one. A lot of newcomers were coming in.
Right.
And I get accused of payola, and that was the last straw, man.
Yeah.
Bob Magoo, who left earlier because DZRJ was making a comeback on AM.
Yeah.
And called me up and said, "Hey, you want to join us, man?" And this was the perfect time because I still had a roof over my head. I talked to my mom about it because I told my mom, Mom, because my mom's ex-boyfriend was Emilio Tuason's brother. I think his name was Paulo Tuason. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I I told my mom, Mom, I'm gonna have to leave Tito Emilio's station. I call Emilio Tito, out of
Right.
respect
Yeah. Yeah. Of
because
course. Yeah.
we're family friends.
Right.
And I'm gonna go to DZRJ. I want to be a rock jock. I want to meet all these rockers. It's my dream, and now's the best time to do it. And my mom was like, "You're gonna make that leap from FM to AM? Why?
AM.
Who
Shit.
listens to AM? My mom said, why don't you stay in RT? They're more established, they're one of the best. You got better equipment there. So I told my mom, I just want to try for the experience. And if I screw up, I think RT will accept me back again,
Yeah.
So I left. Emilia was disappointed, was angry that I left. It was a ship that was sinking. There was no point in sticking it out. And being accused of payola for me was very, very, it was just hard to fathom, man. Because
For him.
for me,
For you.
hearing it from the owner, man.
Oh, right.
So that's insulting for me as a radio jock. I've never taken payola, as I said, until today. Nothing, nada.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe you, man.
Not clean, but I can look anybody straight in the eye and said, "You have never bought me to play your song, man."
Right on.
I played your song because I believed in it. It was a good song. It was based on charts, man. Or I thought it could be a turntable hit, man. But not because you offered me money to fucking play it, man.
Right.
It work that way, man. Not with me,
man.
at least, So I went to DZRJ, man. I was there with Bob Magoo. I was there with Howlin' Dave.
So this is the late 80s.
This was 1988, man.
88. Okay.
Late 1988. DZRJ made a comeback, and I was with them until 1989 for almost a year. Around 11 months. Then it was bought by the Christians in 1989.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and Ramon Zialcita was very unprofessional. To think that I was pirated from RT. He just tells his DJs the day before that tomorrow's your last day. Say goodbye on the air. The station's getting sold to Christians.
Damn.
So I said that was really unprofessional, and we would not be absorbed in FM. And I didn't want to work for FM either because, they were all on cassette operations, man, and the songs are like 2 minutes long. It's crazy, man.
Right.
So I went back to RT.
Did you get your old job back?
I did. I went back to Emilio, and Emilio's like, "Oh, Ramon, why are you here, Conyo?
Conyo.
Why are you here, Conyo? What happened?" I go, the station closed. Okay, so you want to come back? You want to come back, huh? I said, "Yeah, I want to come back, Tito. I'm sorry." I wanted the job. I had to,
Of course. You have to be humble.
Yeah, humble myself. And he goes, "Okay, so when can you start?" And he goes, "I can start today. I can start tomorrow, anytime." And he goes, "Well, come tomorrow, and I'll give you the slot." So they absorbed me again, and I was with RT for another year. And when I came back to RT, they were playing a lot of modern rock, new wave. It was a different format. It was a different program director.
Yeah.
Vince St. Price was back, and Big O'Brien. They got Big O'Brien, Bob Curry's brother, who goes as Big Brother Brian, something like that, over WKC, But with RT, he used Big O'Brien.
Big O'Brien, yeah.
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
shit. So so when you came back to RT, just DJ. You never got the program director job by
director job anymore.
Yeah.
I decided not to. It was not offered anyway, so I just stuck to. But RT was really going down. It was not. Really
Yeah. No, I know. I know. I remember that. I mean, I jumped ship too, man.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell are they playing? It's not quality anymore.
A lot of the good guys left for Kiss FM back in 1980.
Kiss FM, that's the one.
It's the one that was, kicking our butts.
I switched to Kiss FM too. That's where they had that American DJ you mentioned, Rick Dees.
Yeah, they had Rick Dees there. No, that's
Yeah.
no, that's not. No, we had the Rick Dees countdown. They had a Filipino guy who's Ilonggo also. His name is he used the name Dick Reese.
Dick Reese. Okay. Dick Reese.
Nice guy. Nice guy. I think he's from Bacolod or he's from Iloilo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait. Going back to the music that you love. I mean, where did that influence come from?
The music that I loved.
The rock music. Who was?
Well, I grew up with the Beatles, man. That was the first rock band I listened to.
No, but I mean, in your life. I mean, who influenced you? Who did you have an older cousin?
Oh, yeah.
Or-
Well, my older sister would make me listen to this band called Foreigner. You know,
Uh-huh.
I really got into Foreigner, and of course, listening to Y101. And when I became a radio DJ, the radio station gave me the rock and roll encyclopedia and told me go to the library and start listening to every band here and read.
Wow.
And then so I was in the production room, you know, and I went to the letter B, and I saw this Black Sabbath record, man. I was like, shit, man. The first album, you know, Black Sabbath.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Song was Black. This evil woman right in front of this, you know, in front of a house. It looked really,
Yeah.
you know, like really scary, man. And
Yep.
and I listened to the record, man. You know, it starts off with the rain. It starts off with a church bell, you know.
Yeah.
The riff from hell comes in, you know.
Yeah.
Shit, man, you know. Dun, dun, dun. I'm like,
Boom, 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 boom. Tangina.
one of the most powerful riffs I heard was Eye of the Tiger, man, of Survivor. But this one was like, oh damn, man. This is really like fuck from the depths of hell, man.
Yeah, man.
And then I was listening to the record. I listened to side A, and then I turned off the light, put the needle on to side B.
Yeah.
And then when everything ended, I waited for something to come out from the darkness, man. That band changed my life forever, man.
Nice.
So
See, there you go, man. Yeah.
Sabbath introduced me to a different world, man, you know.
Wow.
And that's when I started, you know, discovering heavy metal, you know. And everybody that followed after Sabbath, you know. You get
Yeah.
the hits, basically, but when you hear the album, man, it's different, you know.
Oh, yeah.
When
Yeah.
you hear more of the tracks, man, that don't get played on the radio, you know.
Yep. The deep cuts, man.
Yeah, deep cuts.
Yeah.
Basically. Because what the radio just airs are the hits, you know.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
FM. With DZRJ, it was more free flowing, you know. We could choose our songs.
Yeah.
But with RT, man, no, we had to play what the hits were, man. That's it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
Every song we play on the radio, it's got to be a hit, you know.
Yeah. Banyo break.
Oh, sige.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't. I'll just keep it running. Just come back.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll take
I'll see you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just be here. I'll just take a piss.
Hey, sisters and brothers, I have a new sponsor, my friends Gary and Marilu from alkalinewatersogood.com. They are international Kangen water distributors. Kangen water is delicious water created from Enagic's innovative water technology. Enagic is a 56-year-old Japanese company with 40 offices in 23 countries, including an office in Manila and 8 offices in the U.S., and it is the leading manufacturer of alkaline ionizers and water filtration machines in the world. Not only do these devices filter your tap water, but they also produce ionized alkaline and acidic waters through electrolysis. These waters can be used for various purposes, including drinking, cooking, beauty, and cleaning. Can you imagine never buying bottled water again? The plastic in bottled water often contains BPA and other chemicals which are proven to be hazardous to your health. And how much fun is it lugging cases of it from the market, recycling it, and you know, plastic is an environmental nightmare. According to Gary, it's also a great way to add an additional income stream. He's been selling machines for over 12 years internationally, and everyone needs the healthiest water in the world.
So, folks, if you have any questions about Kangen water, check out their website at alkalinewatersogood.com. That's alkalinewatersogood.com. Or you can email them at gary@garyballin.com. Gary Ballin with 2 L's.com.
Okay, so now, what everyone's been waiting for, LA 105.
Okay, man. LA
Because everyone wants to know how that station started. I mean, I want to know, and of course,
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of people want to know. I mean, because that station was really the catalyst for a whole, not just the scene, but fucking history, man. Oh, it's history of Filipino music in that decade will be forever etched in, that generation, and LA 105 was like the one, that it started it, and you made it more countrywide because they had stations all over.
Right.
But LA 105 was the one, man. Because even with Wolfgang, pare, and you didn't want to play us. Because
Really?
we were because we're metal. We're heavy metal.
Wow.
They were not gonna play heavy metal on NU 107.
Okay.
They weren't playing any hard rock in NU at that time.
I think they were still
And-
having their modern rock format was
Yeah.
still getting mixed with the rock of the 90s, slowly.
Yeah, it was getting mixed. Yeah.
Right.
And so I mean, they would I don't even think they were even playing Soundgarden. I think Soundgarden was even too heavy for them.
Okay.
I mean, maybe Pearl Jam, but
Yeah.
maybe Nirvana, because Nirvana was so popular. But
Yeah.
they didn't give Wolfgang a second look at all, dude, at all, man. And understandable, because their format wasn't, a rice, it wasn't I am the night, I am the day, I am the light gone astray. No, they they weren't like that yet, dude.
I remember playing the first song. I think Manuel brought it to the station, and I interviewed him. It was a song that he called, the title was Stupid, which was the first single of Wolfgang on LA. It was later known as Left Alone.
Left Alone, yeah.
But when he told me, when I played it, it had no final title yet, man. So he goes, "What's the title of this one?" Stupid. Okay, so we
Stupid.
played it as Stupid, man. And it became Left Alone after, when he found the right title.
Oh, so you still introduced it as Stupid?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, wow. Shit, I didn't know.
There was no title. There was no final title. The song was so new. It was hot off the music press, man.
Wow, shit. So what was it, a demo? It was a demo, huh?
It's a recording, but
Yeah, it's
was
probably a
the
demo,
first
because we weren't signed anywhere.
Yeah, you were not signed yet.
Yeah.
That was the first single.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Called right away to let us know that he found the title. So when we aired it again, we would say it was Left Alone already.
Left Alone. That's right. Left Alone was the first song you guys played.
Particular interview, just that first time, It
Yeah.
was the working title. That's all.
Right. Okay. It's coming back to me now. Yeah. Shit, man. Those days, man. So what was the origin of that station? I mean,
Well, LA 105 started out as a pop station. I was in RT. The Ghost left for LA, and he called me up after a few months and asked me if I wanted to join, And as I said, RT was still a sinking ship,
right.
And Emilio was getting worse with his,
Issues.
with his substance abuse, and I'm not gonna get him on that, because I have
Of
also
course. Yeah. But, he had issues.
but
Yeah.
it was going down, and I had a kid already at that time. I had a daughter that was born. This was 1990. I talked to my wife about it, and I told my wife, there's this new radio station that wants my services. They're going to pay me higher, but it's not RT, it's pop, and it's not the pop that I really like.
Right.
It was not even the Ghost who was programming it. It was a guy called Rudy Velez,
Uh-huh.
And this guy was more, top 40 pop. But I said, okay, they do play some rock, and I can choose what to play. They didn't really have a strict playlist.
Uh-huh.
So I joined them, and after a few months, it burned down.
Huh?
This was in Philcomsen building. We were on the penthouse.
Okay.
And inside the radio station was like a disco called the Penthouse. Okay.
Okay. Right.
And we feel that the owners of that disco set it on fire. And
For insurance.
it spread to the radio station,
Oh shit.
and our radio station burned down. We lost one of our technicians. He was suffocated because he was a stay-in technician.
Oh damn.
And the only surviving thing was a Kalapana freaking record, man, of Kalapana.
Oh my god.
So we were off the air, man. So can you imagine? I just joined them for a few months,
Oh
and then
wow.
it just fires. It's like, oh, Dad, what's gonna happen to me? At that time, it was Manolet who was running the show. He was the station manager.
The ghost, right? Manolet.
The ghost. Yeah. So we met with the late owner, Anthony Aguirre. He was the chairman of BF Homes and Banco Filipino. He was the owner of the radio station.
Yeah.
And he asked me and
What's
Manolet.
Dave's uncle, I think. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So he asked me and Manolet to stick around. We were gonna get paid. You had to show up once a week, for meetings until the radio station goes back on, because we have to buy everything. So I said yes, why not? So I wasn't really doing much. I was just at home. I would go to the office in Makati once a week and meet with the owner to plan the next move. So the owner, was going to go into a classical middle of the road format. And it took so long to get back on the air. He had to buy the equipment.
Yeah.
He got a low power transmitter. RT sent an offer again.
Okay.
Twice my salary. He wanted me
Shit.
back. So I said,
Program manager, program director, or DJ.
DJ, program director, I don't remember it. I don't recall anymore, but they wanted my services back.
Right.
So I said, that's the radio station. When you work in RT, bro, it's like the best radio station, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, RT's RT. I mean,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rhythm of the city, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that's legend, man.
It's legend. Yeah.
And I wanted to be with guys and play more upscale stuff instead of playing the stuff that LA was playing that time, man.
Right. Right.
So, I told the owner that the radio station where I came from is making me an offer to come back for twice my salary.
Uh-huh.
And the owner goes, "Do you listen to me?" And I go, "I'm a radio man. I can't just sit down here and wait for the radio station to come back. I'm a radio guy."
Right.
I mean, when you start losing the radio appeal, man, you're
Yeah.
down. I have to think about that too, And
Yeah.
the offer was good. And at that time, I think it was Emilio was the family was taking over at that time. See, the family of Emilio was taking over the radio station.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Emilio anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I told my wife about it. I had to talk with her, and she goes, "Yeah, you can go back." But I said I met with the owner, and Anthony tells me, you come here tomorrow, and if I don't show up at this time, you can go to the other radio station. Okay.
Oh.
So
What did that mean?
that means that he's going to match the offer.
Oh, if he shows up, he'll match the offer.
He'll match the offer. Yeah.
Right.
So he told me, come to the office tomorrow. If I'm not in by 10 a.m., you can go to the other station.
Okay.
He was there before 10 a.m. and he told me, I'm here. I'm going to match it. So I stayed. Because that's the
Damn.
guy you want to work for, man.
He's
Is
the
that
one
guy-
who matches.
Yeah.
The one who matches the offer. Yeah.
So I stayed. I stayed with LA. We went to a middle of the road classical format. I had no knowledge about this format at all. So we did a lot of
Damn.
research. We played a lot of Filipino songs. So can you imagine hearing Frank Sinatra, Matt Monroe,
And then Kundiman.
yeah, Kundiman, of course. We were playing Silvia La Torre, the
Oh
Pandangu
my God! Really?
singers. Redento Romero, Ato the Blind Pianist, Ruben Tagalog,
So,
Rick Enrique Jr.,
oh my God. So when did Satan came take over?
Born, but
Because puta ka na from Kundiman and Frank Sinatra, bigla na lang dead nails, pare.
puta pare. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Classical, middle of the road, man, you know? So we
I
did
didn't, you know what? I didn't even realize that 105.9 was a frequency
yeah,
because I was so used to
yeah,
RT,
yeah.
101.1, Kiss
right,
FM. I never went farther than that,
Yes, yes, yes. And we were very on low powered
Oh, yeah, really low
transmitter
powered.
at that
Yeah.
time, man. So and mono, not even stereo, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was like we were a community radio, that type, man, you know, low powered community radio.
Yeah, really. College radio, bro.
Like that.
Dude,
Pirate radio.
exactly. Tapos puro cassette pa.
Cassette pa. Pare.
Yeah.
So the only
So
time
wait, so what was the story of why did you use cassettes? Because the station couldn't afford those big machines. I mean,
so they didn't want to invest that much, you know,
Right.
into the professional machines. Although our cassette decks were professional ones, no, not the cheap ones.
oh
no.
yeah. But I mean, the cartridge. I mean the
Yeah.
CD players or whatever.
Yeah. Well, we had one or two CD players. Of course, we had to have CD players. They didn't cost that much, but
Oh,
even our
okay.
board was a mixer. It was just, make do with what we had, turntables, okay lang, you know. And then Ed Formoso comes in, Ed Formoso, the legendary music producer, man,
Right. Yes.
and Ed and me go a long way back. I met him back in 1981. His wife was the best friend of my older sister, in Cebu. Okay.
Okay.
So he recorded an album called Tales of the Storyman in 1981. It was a supergroup, a rock supergroup that Y101 promoted. Okay. And he had called me up when I was in RT, and he gave me a song of Local Brown to play. Okay. In fact, we even interviewed Local Brown. That
Right.
time he released his the Local Brown album.
Was he in the band or just the
He
like
was in the band. He was also in the band. Yeah, he was part of the
what
band.
did he play? I never knew what instrument he played.
Well, Ed he doesn't really play any instruments. He's more of a songwriter, he's a record producer, and once in a while he would sing.
Okay.
Okay.
So he was like a George Clinton kind of thing.
Something like that, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but Ed is a genius, man. He's a musical genius, and
Right.
I have not really met anybody like an Ed Formosa before. This guy is like the enigma,
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was awesome. I mean, he was very deep in his thinking, and he had so many
Yeah.
ideas. So we partnered up in LA, and we started doing world music. The stuff was getting boring. The classical middle of the road was getting boring, man.
Right.
So we became world music. We called ourselves Expat Radio.
Expat radio, right? I think yeah.
We were playing music from different countries.
Right.
And it just sounded so heavy. And of course, Ed started bringing in the Pinoy. So of course, you had your Joey Ayalas were there. You had Grace Nono. You had Baguio.
Okay.
The ethnic guys coming in, Salidumay. All these guys. And of course, the folk guys were coming in. And Buklod was there. Grupang Pendong. Asin.
What do you mean they were there? They did guestings in the station, or you?
Also in the radio stations. We started
Right
playing
on.
music also. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
And they started slowly coming in. So while we were doing world music, we were playing our progressive Filipino artists.
Yeah.
Now, after a while, we couldn't sell this format. It was too heavy. So we started veering away and started putting some international pop, or international rock. And there's no essence for that anymore. It doesn't become world music because all the music is westernized already. You know?
Yeah.
So we decided to go into the rock format. So we had a transition in December 1 to the 25th. We played Christmas music from ages 1 to 92, man. All kinds of Christmas music to throw everybody off.
Okay.
Then on the 26th, we launched.
What year was this?
This was 1993, December of 1993.
Okay.
We became the rock of the world, Manila's rock authority, So that's it. And that's when we became a rock station. And of course, we had to change formats. I mean,
Yeah.
the heavier guys. And by doing so, the Filipino bands became heavier too,
Yeah.
We had more branches of, rock music coming in. And we were calling out for
Right. No, yeah.
songs.
So so was it just natural that you guys started just playing Pinoy music?
No, this was Ed
Because
Formoso's format, basically,
Oh, okay.
Ed Formoso told
So
us,
he wanted to play Pinoy music,
yes, because
all kinds of Pinoy music,
well, as long as it's on the rock,
on the rock realm. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And Ed Formoso was also before LA. He was involved with Pinoy Radio, 95.5.
Oh, I like that station
Pinoy Radio,
too.
95.5 DWDM. I remember Richard
Yeah.
Steele used to be on that radio station.
Dude, they used to play heavy stuff for a really short time, man.
Right. So Ed was part of that radio station, but he got out because Payola came in, man.
Oh, okay.
He decided to leave because that's not him anymore.
Right.
Payola's there. That's it. It screws the programming up. Because right now you have to commit yourself to the record labels. The record labels will program your clock. You have three songs per hour from this record label.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, that's fuck that. You
Yeah.
can't
I
control
know that because we were Wolfgang was signed to Ivory, at first, and they do that. They are fucking kings of payola, pare.
No, they have to because it's promotion. Otherwise, and the bad thing about it is that the radio stations will prioritize the record labels that have an international label because the international label will give them the foreign songs as well. You're buying
Right.
your foreign releases and your local releases. And if you're Ivory Records label, you'll have a harder time getting in the major radio stations, and you'll probably have you'll be settling for crumbs, man.
Yeah.
10 hours, man.
Yeah.
And or going to airing your songs in radio stations that are not ranked among the top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
It's hard to get in. So that's how it works, man. And,
Of course.
and not only that, the radio DJs are the ones who are telling the record labels what to release based on their own gut feel, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, man? It's fucked up. That's why I never got involved, man. I don't. It just ruins the whole thing, man.
It ruins the whole thing, man. I mean, imagine. I mean, LA 105.9. Okay, it was you and Ed Formoso. Two guys are anti-payola. Anti-corruption, whatever.
Yeah.
And like I said, that station ignited this whole movement. So if your integrity somehow maybe since Ed Formoso didn't last long in 95.5, but because he stuck to his principles, but then since he moved to LA, then that's what happened, because you guys didn't sell out.
Because Ed was programming the station at Manolete with the Ghosts,
Yeah.
See, so once you become a program director, you can't get yourself involved in payola. As a record producer, you need it because that's one way for your artist to get aired. But the moment you enter into the programming domain of a radio station, you gotta cut ties, man.
Yeah, you can't. It has the best music will stay. It's like that.
You wear a different hat too,
Yeah.
So we had control of the playlist, man.
Wow. So when did that's exciting, man, because it's when I think about it, that's why I wanted to feature you guys, like the DJs like Bob Magoo and Jaime and you, to talk about your stories, because radio in the Philippines is a big deal. We have our own radio culture.
Right.
It's funny that in my podcast interviews, because some of them are chefs, some of them are theater people, some of them are rockers, and punk rockers. Like I interviewed Bobby Balingit one episode, and everyone, all these things have. It's like in what happened in American culture. They have their culture. They have their radio stations, their DJs, their bands, whatever. We have our own.
Yeah, we have our own.
We have
Yeah.
our own. We have our own culture that is so
right.
strong with
Right.
Filipinos.
Right.
That okay, it can when you say example, when you say Metallica, you can say Wolfgang in the same sentence for a
Right.
Filipino
Right. Right.
without no problem at all.
No problem. Yes.
No problem. You say something like the Rolling Stones and you say Razorback in the same sentence. No, there's no problem because
Right.
Razorback is a great band, and it's
Yes.
same with all the other great Filipino bands.
Exactly.
So when did you start? When was this phenomenon of fucking give us your tape? We're gonna play it no matter what. If we like it, what?
right,
Yeah, what
right.
is the genesis of that?
We were calling out because they always say there's not enough material to play on the air. Radio stations are supposed to play 4 Filipino songs in 1 hour. Okay, it's a rule. It's an executive order. You know,
Right.
I forgot. I think number 255. Don't quote me on that. I forgot the number. But you're supposed to play 4 Filipino songs in 1 hour. Okay,
Right, the OPM thing. Yeah.
I don't even want to call it OPM because when you hear a DJ say OPM, you don't know what he's talking about. OPM,
Yeah.
Is it original Filipino music, or is it the Organización Filipino Mga Awit? Is it the
Yeah.
you know? And I've never called our music OPM is because why are you putting the word original Filipino music? By calling it Filipino music is obvious enough that it is
Yes.
original, man. Maybe
Yeah.
you want to say OPL, original Filipino lyrics, man.
Oh yeah.
Better thing to call it, but OPM, man. I mean, the
Doesn't make
Americans don't
sense.
call their music original American music, original German music. That's bullshit. OPM
Yeah.
should just be stand for the Organización Pilipinong Mga Awit. They were the first ones to coin the OPM word and just call our music Pinoy music, Filipino music, Philippine music, Philippine rock, Pinoy rock, you know, without
Right.
branding it as OPM. You know,
Yeah.
why put
That was a
original-
whole fucking like Ogie Alcacid and that crew, man. That coined that fucking
No,
original
I can
Filipino.
understand if it was before because most of the music of the Philippines were sang in English, and then and they were instrumentals also back then. I can
Yeah.
understand, but
Right.
now we have our own sound, bro. And I
Yeah.
don't want to sound like an underdog by calling our sound original Filipino music when the other countries don't add the word original to their music.
Yeah.
I mean, it's redundant, man.
It's redundant. I was gonna say it's redundant.
Now, some people will say, "Oh, but by calling it OPM, at least we know it's us," you know. But come on, man.
Yeah, but the word Filipino's there already, man.
Filipino music is already there.
Yeah.
It stand on its own. I think Filipino music has developed, you know, through the years. We have our own sound.
Oh,
We do
yeah.
it very well, you know, in English. We do
very
it
well.
Tagalog or whatever language you want to sing it, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, like what I said. It's like, you know, if you know, being a rocker in the rock world, rock realm, Stairway to Heaven is up there, right? That's one of the anthems.
Right.
But if you're a Filipino rocker, you don't only have you. Not only do you have Stairway to Heaven or the song Black Sabbath, you have Beep Beep or Balong Malalim.
You have your own anthems too.
We have our own anthems,
Right. Right.
you know?
And I'm not going to call Wolfgang an OPM band or Razorback an OPM band. I mean,
Hell no, man.
I'm not going to call them that, man.
Pinoy
Never,
rock, dude.
never, exactly, man. Or Filipino alternative music, alternative to pop, alternative.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's my stand on the word OPM. And I have written about this a lot of times in my column in the Manila Times, in the Philippine Star, and even in Pulp Magazine, man, which I still continue
Yeah.
to write for, you know?
Right
So that's my take, man. Now, the you're supposed to play 4 songs in 1 hour. The radio stations are supposed to play that. And they always say that there's not enough material, you know?
on. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And when they say there's not enough material, they say quality material. But have they called out? Most radio stations don't even call out for material, man.
Dude, when you guys did it, it was like, yeah.
And-
No, you guys are unprecedented, dude.
And you have to understand that it is expensive to record in a 24-track studio, man. You know, you have to be a little more understanding that most of these bands are young kids who are spending their allowance going to 8-track studios. I mean, konti naman. I mean, you have to understand that situation, you know?
Yeah.
And you're not even sure if that song's going to get aired. And I have listened to every track of every demo that was sent to me, man.
God
Same thing with
damn.
Ed Formoso, because you never know. It's
You
one
never
song
know.
that could be a hit, man. I remember there was this one band. They gave me 10 songs. The first 9 were really, I mean, something that I wouldn't play on the radio. Okay, I wouldn't call it sucky. It's something that I'm not looking for.
Right.
And I wanted to stop at song number 10 because I said it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
And when I played song number 10, it was so different from the first 9 songs. Different concept. It was like a different band. So I called that band and I told them, I heard your demo. What's this song at the track 10? This is the title, you know? Is that you? I goes, that's us. I said, why does it sound so different? Totally different, man. Different genre, you know?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I used that song and I recorded that song and it became a top 10 in our countdown.
What song is this?
Gee, I
remember
don't
it?
remember. I don't.
You remember the band?
I would remember the band if I'm given time to think, man.
Okay,
But right
well,
now,
yeah.
it doesn't come in. I've recorded over 300 bands in the studio. Well,
Shit, man.
you know. So
Who were the first? What were the first demos like? Because I'm sure when the demos started coming in, when the tapes started coming in, I guess there was an excitement, you know. And it's like, oh, cool, man. We'll check these all out.
yeah.
I mean, what was
The
it
early
like?
ones, the early ones.
Yeah, the early ones. The early ones. Yeah.
Exciting. It was exciting. We were getting from different forms. You know, I remember the 80s bands were coming back. You know, the Philippine Violators were giving us demos, the Woods,
Yeah. Ethnic Faces, right?
ethnic faces. Yeah, ethnic face one. The Youth
The
was
Youth.
another one that gave us a demo. River Maya was there. They were not signed up yet. The Eraserheads we would play the demo version of Parico. This was during the rock format already. You guys, Wolfgang,
Yeah,
Razorback,
right.
you know, Reanimator, a lot of bands. So
And
we
were no one was signed yet, right? No one was signed.
signed. Alamid was there. Color It Red, Rizal Underground, The Breed. You know,
Yeah. And all
this
of these
were-
bands were not signed yet, except for maybe the E-Heads. I think the E-Heads were signed already.
It was not yet released. The album was signed but not yet released. See, because
Not yet
remember,
released.
after the E-Heads, the second band that was signed up for the majors was the Youth, and the Youth was still on demo. Nobody
That's
was signed.
right.
Piano, you know. So we would mix the new demos with the older demos that we accumulated for the world music format, you know.
Right.
And then slowly, as the Pinoys got heavier, we started lessening that kind of music, because it was. I mean, you can't play a Jess Santiago back to back with a Wolfgang. It just sounds totally off, man.
Yeah, it's too too polar.
We would. I'm not saying we would stop playing his music. We would still play it probably on the day that we play all Filipino music. You know.
Right, yeah.
Because we had a countdown also before during the world music format. We still had a countdown, so those songs were considered as the hits of the radio station. You know, the singles that were released by these people, by these bands.
I'm telling you, man, this is the genesis. This is the origin, because in every I like watching rock documentaries, and in every era of rock or a rock genre that blows up, there's always either a DJ or a radio station involved. Like when Rush, they were gonna be kicked out of their record company before 2112. No. This is the story of how they first got famous in Cleveland.
Okay.
So the first album, you know the song "Working Man," right? Call me the working man. Dun,
Yeah, yeah,
dun, 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 you know. Um, and no one was really paying attention to Rush at that
Okay.
time because they sounded like Led Zeppelin, right? Especially the first album. So, but a DJ in Pittsburgh, Working Man was the B side, and
Yeah.
he then they were listening to the records, and then and then this DJ, a female DJ, she's like she put on Working Man, she's like,
Yeah.
and then reading the lyrics, she's like, putang ina, but this is like the song for this city because Pittsburgh is it's a steel town, working blue collar,
Right.
blue collar jobs and stuff. So this would be perfect for this town. So they started playing that B side, Working Man, in Pittsburgh, and it's just like, So you never know when it's where it's gonna come, and it's always like I said, there's always a radio station and a DJ involved in something, facilitating it to get to the masses.
Right.
And LA 105 was that. Oh my God. Just thinking about it, man. So what did it feel like did you feel the scene coming up when you were, yeah.
Definitely, because you can play all the foreign songs you want, man, but they won't care. I mean, we're from a third world country,
Right.
I mean, how many listeners do we have? I mean, but when you play Filipino music, man, those guys are all here. They'll take care of you also, They'll promote you on the streets. You know what it is for a
Yeah.
musician to hear a single, to hear their song played on the radio. Like when you write a song, man, I'm not a songwriter, but if I wrote a song, I would think that this song is the best song in the world, man.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
And if I hear this on the radio, man, I'll be so inspired to write more,
Putang ina.
man.
Dude,
And I can
it's
play
like,
this. It becomes a hit. I play it on the road. I get requests for it. Man,
I get paid to play it.
I get paid to play it. I mean, wow. I probably get laid also because of the song.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, shit,
Definitely. Shit.
So,
yeah.
it's it's inspiration. And how many rock stations did we have? Two rock stations, and the other one was not
The other one was kind of not 100%,
selected.
Yeah, very selective.
yeah.
I mean, LA was all out, full force, just. And then, and of course, like talking about the quality, because of course, they were kids, high school kids who could,
Right.
If they could find an 8-track studio, that would be lucky, and then, or just do it 4-track or
Right,
whatever.
right. That's where you
And
compromise and understand.
That's where you compromise. Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
So all these kids who had dreams,
Yeah.
you gave them not a chance, but you gave them, you inspired them.
Yeah.
Even though,
yeah.
even though, okay, it's a cheap recording, we just use her. But when it's played on the radio, it becomes more special.
Right.
They were like, shit, man, we sacrificed our baon for this. And these guys played it. So yeah, man,
Exactly.
it goes
It means a
deeper,
lot.
dude.
Yeah.
It's deep, man. It's deep.
Yeah.
LA
And you have
105.
to also consider that LA was also producing albums because we had Ed Formoso there, and Ed
Yes.
Formoso got me in the producing album. So a lot of these demos that came in for 8-track, 4-track recordings, we were able to sign them up. Some did solo albums, some did just compilations, but we opened other venues for them to be signed up by a major record label, and it's a nice feeling. You go to a 24-track studio. You get to meet the executives, man. You do an album. You know how it feels, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
A
Yeah.
lot of bands don't have the same feeling that the bands that have gone through in the 90s, man. The rock bands, huh?
No.
I mean, the rock
because-
bands of today,
Yeah, yeah. No, because nowadays it's like you can be famous
Right.
like that. If you're like especially if you're a woman nowadays,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
become famous just like that.
Right.
If you're an attractive woman, but back then, even if you were an attractive woman, you had to work
Yeah.
to
Of course.
become famous. You
Of
had
course.
to model. You had to go to even the beautiful women didn't have it easy as now.
Yes.
So
I agree, man.
So that's that's the thing. That's the exciting part is when you work for it, when you work gig after gig after gig after gig.
It's
after
called
gig,
the grind.
the grind, man. And when people respond to you, you get more inspired, and then you realize, shit, this is really what I want to do in my life, because I'm doing what I love, and people are accepting the thing that I love,
Right.
and they're actually reciprocating, and it's like,
Right.
it's amazing, and like I said, that station, there's it's like, I don't know if you saw that movie about the BBC, the boat, the radio station, the pirate radio, back in the, because like the pirate, because the BBC, back in the BBC, even until now, they're very strict about what they play on the radio on the BBC. So during the 60s, there were these renegade DJs. This movie reminded me of LA 105 so much, dude.
Okay.
They stayed on a ship right outside the jurisdiction of England, and they played anything and everything.
Right.
They played the most offensive music at the time. Was probably the Rolling Stones and whatever.
Right.
And the British government couldn't
Nothing.
couldn't touch them.
It's not your jurisdiction,
It's
that's
not your
all.
jurisdiction, but the airwaves are reaching England still.
Yes, of course.
Dude, man, that when I saw that movie, it's like, that's fucking LA 105 right there, dude.
But we were not a
man.
pirate radio station. I mean, we were
Yeah,
probably
dude.
a renegade station, but we were
Renegade.
25,000 watts of power, man. Commercials.
Renegade
We just
radio
went for
talaga.
it, Yeah, it was a renegade radio, and the DJs were all renegades also. I mean, if you know how we found all those DJs, and I wrote a column before, a tale of two radio stations, and I documented how we got to find guys like Bob Magoo. I lost contact with Bob for a while. I didn't know where he was, and I had to look for him. It was not easy at the start, how we got Cool Carla to join us,
Oh yeah,
It's been
Carla.
one interesting ride, I mean,
And see, there you go. And once again, there are the DJs that have personalities.
right.
So you had the Doctor, you had the Ghost, you had Bob Magoo, you had Cool Carla, and each one of you guys had fans
DJ
because
Carlos.
DJ Carlos.
Don't forget
Oh
DJ
my
Carlos.
God, I love DJ Carlos. He's so fun. It's Carlos Gaspar, dude. And that's the thing, because you had your time slot,
Yeah.
and depending on the person's availability or whatever whatever
right.
time they were listening to, that's the DJ that they like.
right.
Like I think Cool Carla was in the evening or something.
I think she
right?
was in the afternoon.
afternoon?
I think, yeah. Well, I think
Afternoon.
Ghost was in the evening also, because he would do a lot of
Ghost was
weird
in the
stuff.
evening.
I mean, he was badass on the air, man. I think that guy really tested the freedom of
pare.
speech, man. I mean, you know what this fucker did, man? He
No.
he made a girl who was calling him up every day, giving him phone sex. He decided to put it on the air, man. And
Oh,
made his
really?
listeners listen to this girl who would call him up every day and give him phone sex and moan. And he was
my
making this girl moan on prime time for 5 minutes, man.
Oh, dude.
And then
It's like
he goes,
Howard Stern stuff,
and
man.
then, he was testing the the Howard
Oh my
Stern,
God.
shock jock. And then there was
Shock jock,
one time he was pissed off with Noli De Castro, man, because Noli De Castro was documenting something in Magandang Gabi Bayan about backmasking. I mean, such an old.
Oh,
freaking
yeah,
issue,
dude.
man. Who doesn't know about backmasking? So he made it such a big deal. You know what the Ghost did? He recorded Noli De Castro's radio show on AM. And fucking played it backmasking on the air, man, to check if there were any satanic lyrics coming out.
So it's all washing. Oh my God! See, that's
And
real
the-
rock and roll, man.
And the worst thing that we did, because we had to prove to everybody that there was no payola in LA, we did a mix of Frante's version of Bizarre Love Triangle with New Order. He mixed it because he used to mix. He used to work in a disco before, man. You know.
Oh, okay.
The Ghost, man, XB.
Right,
So he
right.
would also he had a side job. He would be a
Oh,
disco
like he had a
DJ.
mobile.
Right. The mobile
Yeah.
was also back then, you know.
Yeah,
He would
yeah.
be working for
Like Exile or
clubs.
Sonoros.
No, those are sound systems that were mobile. That started off as mobiles. He would be
They
working
started-
in clubs, man.
Oh, in clubs.
In
Okay.
clubs, yeah, okay.
Right.
So he did a multo mix of Bizarre Love Triangle of Frante and New Order, and they both come from different record labels. You're not going to
Okay.
hear any radio station fusing that together, okay?
Right. Yeah.
So he did that, and it became a number one song in the worst 12 of 12. And get this, man, the band shows up in the radio station because they did a Filipino promotional tour.
Fronte, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Frante, and I was the DJ to interview them, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Shit, man, these guys are here live in the Raw. Now I gotta face these guys, and the Ghost is not here. He should be the one telling them what he did to their song, not me."
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, by the way, doctor, you know, we heard our song is the number one song for many weeks at the worst 12 of 12, and you did a special mix. I go, yeah, that was the Ghost, man. Yeah. I said, do you mind if we hear it? I said, yeah, sure. So I played it, and they were listening to it, you know, like, and they go, hey, pretty creative.
So he mashed up the songs. Is that what he did?
Yes, he mixed both songs together, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he mashed it up. And then I'll never forget what he did with this. You remember Beck, the guy who sang Loser?
Yeah, Beck. Yeah, I love him. Yeah, he's cool,
He
man.
interviews Beck on the radio, you know. And I'm beside the Ghost, no? Then he goes, hey, Beck, what are you doing? What are you doing tonight, you know? And he goes, well, nothing. I'm just going to stay in my hotel room. And then the
And
Ghost
and
tells
Beck's like this shy, timid guy, right?
yeah. You know, the Ghost tells him, you wanna go out and party and go get some pussy outside, man. And Beck goes, what? And I go, you heard what he said. He goes, you want to party with him tonight and go get some pussy, man. And Beck was like,
Yeah, and Beck, and Beck is from, he's
man.
from he's from Santa Monica, he's hippie,
he was all
shy.
soft-spoken, bro. And here's the
Yeah.
Ghost, man, who's putting his, and that's what LA was. It's a radio station that had personality and did not go by the rules, man. Was always
Yeah.
testing the freedom of speech. In fact, I got suspended one time, Wolf, man.
Wow, what happened?
I played this song of Aerosmith, man, and I said, I was telling the listeners that, Cardinal Sin listens to my radio show,
Okay.
I was like, Cardinal Sin, the Cardinal Sin. Yeah, he listens to my radio show. He's my number one fan. And I dedicate this song to his holy ass. This is Aerosmith. And this is Fist in Your Face.
Oh
I got
my
this
God.
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. I said, first of all, you're lying. Cardinal Sin does not listen to a rock station, man. The KBP was monitoring me. But we got a lot of publicity because of that. But
Did you get fined?
I
or
got
just
suspended. I got suspended for 2 weeks.
Oh, without
man.
pay.
With no pay, because they wanted to teach me a lesson, man.
Man.
Fuckers on you.
That's fucking no, but I mean, what you said may have been offensive to somebody,
It's
but it's still
offensive,
freedom of speech, man. You
It's
have freedom to
of
say
speech,
that,
but
pare.
you have to
Who
consider
the fuck?
that.
I mean, it's like who the fuck cares if the doctor likes the cardinal? Maybe the doctor's an atheist. He doesn't
No,
believe
the
in
Cardinal
or whatever.
is my number one fan. He listens to my radio show.
Yeah, that's that's why they probably got offended with that. You're like,
And the title of the song, why does it have to be Fist in Your Face? And you dedicated it to his holy ass. I mean, what the hell? What are you saying, man?
bro, that's what
So-
I mean. Dude, if you did that now and you did that with the Pope here,
Yeah.
no one would really give two shits.
No,
man.
because you got freedom of speech here,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like,
Yeah.
and it's actually fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
It's
But,
fucking
back
funny.
then, people were too conservative. They were not yet developed,
Tangina, until now,
As I-
pare, in the
As I
Philippines,
said,
shit.
we're renegades, man,
Yeah.
And we
No,
just
but
want
it's
to change this. Yeah.
No, but if you say it again, dude. Say all of that shit again, and see how fucking funny it sounds. It's
Yeah.
fucking funny.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Yeah, the Cardinal Sins, number one fan of my show.
Yeah, listen to my show. He listens to my show every morning. And he knows this song. He knows the song very well because he listens to my radio show.
And I'm going to dedicate this to his fucking holy ass.
No, I didn't say fucking. I just said he's.
Oh yeah. I mean, his holy ass.
We didn't want to.
It's funny, dude. It's funny, man. It's funny.
So these are some of the things that we've done, and.
So okay, so now we got the whole LA 105. The Pinoy rock scene of the 90s is just off the chain. It's a whole world that was pretty much made.
Yeah, basically we had the DZRJ to thank for that, because we saw what went wrong with the pioneers, at that time. What DZRJ shouldn't have done back then, but maybe there was a scarcity of bands, because as you know, it was the early beginnings of Pinoy rock.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I just feel that RJ should have just let go of their bands to the other radio stations. The moment one of the news was getting aired on the other radio stations, you don't have to play them every day. I mean, you can still play them, but you don't have to play them all the time.
Right.
The DZRJ hanged on with all these guys when they should have just let them go and bring in a new wave,
Oh, right. You're right. Yeah.
Second wave, a third wave. That's what we did with LA 105.9. We studied what DZRJ, where they fell, or where I think they fell, and we tried not to commit it. So that way we had a very, very strong rock movement. I think the 90s was the strongest rock movement ever in Philippine rock history, man.
Yeah,
the 90s rock movement was really strong, solid.
Agree.
Man. I think we drained it, man.
Dude, we fucking drained the fucking well to the last fucking drop. Dude, there was a time, 90s, 95, 96, 97.
Yeah,
was just unbelievable. Everybody. All those bands that started out with demos, everyone was signed.
Yes.
Everyone had hits.
Yes, exactly.
Bona fide hits that other bands said, yeah, that's a fucking good song, actually. You know what I mean? Because there's always the rivalry between bands. It's like, that song, I can write a better song. But then there's some songs of other bands, like, fuck, that's a good song.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's some people who didn't like heavy metal, but they listened to Wolfgang. It's like, oh, they got some good songs there. And same with Razorback,
Yes, exactly.
And it's never been the same. Like, it's never been the same. And I don't really expect something to happen, because that happened organically. It happened naturally. No one was planning it.
Yeah.
So and that's always the best thing, when you don't plan it, when it happens organic and natural, and you don't force the issue. So if ever it happens again in the future, shit, man, I don't know. So what happened to LA, dude? It just stopped, man.
Yeah, I stayed with them till 2001. It went from the rock format. It was the entry of the girl bands, the boy bands. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC was coming in, the Spice Girls, All Saints. The solo singers were coming back. It was a very strong wave. We felt that what the disco era did for rock back in the 70s was repeating itself, man.
Right. Yeah.
And MTV started pulling out the rock shows.
Yeah.
Lesser rock bands were hitting the charts. Beavis and Butthead gets canceled, man. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
And so when you see the charts and when you start watching MTV and you get, in 1 hour, they play like 12 pop songs and 2 are rock, and those are the big bands like U2 or Aerosmith, man.
Yeah.
There's something wrong. So the foreign will dictate on the local. And of course, the record labels are going to release less rock. And remember, the more rock that gets played on the other radio stations, the better for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
See? So that's what happened. And then piracy came in. So the record label started suffering also.
That's right. Piracy.
So the piracy came in. The different generation was coming in. A different sound was coming in. Wiped out the rock. And the ones that stayed on were the ones that were matibay, the established bands,
Yeah.
So a lot of Pinoy rock Filipino bands in the 90s were, fell prey to the apocalypse, man. The beast of the apocalypse, man.
Talaga, pare. I mean, when I got, when I came here to the States,
Yeah.
it was still strong. I came here 2002, the end of
Well,
2002.
just the established ones, Wolf, but a lot.
Oh yeah,
of
yeah,
them
yeah,
have
yeah. But
founded, no?
but everything else was, the scene wasn't there anymore. The
Yeah,
excitement
it's
wasn't there
different already.
anymore.
So
You would see the headliners of whatever festivals, and it's all the same, it's still the same.
right,
And but the thing is, when I got here to the States, and then after, so when I got here to the States, like
Yeah.
I mentioned, I really cut myself off the Philippines because I
Okay.
wanted a total fresh start here in the States. So I cut everything off.
Yeah.
I'm not Wolf Hemora. Wolfgang
Yeah.
is in my past. I want to start
Right.
zero.
right.
So I had no contact whatsoever, and of course the internet. There was no Facebook, no nothing.
Yeah,
There was not even, maybe there was Friendster already, but it wasn't as strong as Facebook anyway.
yeah,
So I wasn't aware of what was happening back in Manila, and what was happening was the bossa nova thing, the acoustic bossa nova.
Oh yeah, the acoustic guys are coming in. Yes,
Yeah,
because
we're coming in,
The
and then
the bars got these guys because it was cheaper for them.
it was cheaper for them. Yeah,
Right,
acoustic
right.
guitars and no drum set, and
Exactly.
And then somehow, maybe 4 years into my stay here,
Yeah,
into my migration, I got a whiff of that. And I'm like, what the fuck happened, man? Bossa Nova? Are you I mean, I'm not hating on Bossa Nova. I love
Yeah, of
Bossa Nova,
course.
but from fucking Wolfgang Razorback, E-Heads, River Maya,
Yeah,
rock bands,
yeah,
and then bigla lang acoustic, no drum set, girl singer. Nothing against girl singers, but
Yeah.
it's such a polar opposite of what happened,
exactly.
and I understand. Okay, because genres of music become popular every now and then, more than others, but the rock side of it shouldn't. I was surprised that it was weak enough to not matter anymore. It somehow it didn't matter. Pulp SummerSlam was still there. Actually, Pulp
Yeah.
SummerSlam is the only thing keeping rock alive in the Philippines, man.
Yeah, and I think Dutan also the
And
tattoo
Dutan, yes,
festival.
yes,
those
of
two
course.
big
Yeah,
festivals.
all of these counterculture
And the smaller
events,
ones. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
even the smaller ones,
Yeah,
and of course that will never go away because that's the Filipino spirit. Filipinos who are in that mindset of our mindset of no corruption, no payola, fucking rock and roll, punk rock.
Right,
There's so many of us like that in the Philippines.
yes, yes.
So it will never go away. But for it to become as popular as what happened in the 90s, well, I don't know.
think so.
Time will tell, Only time will tell if the new generation comes up with fucking the attitude that's needed to fucking spark another scene like that, Because it was all attitude, man. LA, the radio station had attitude. All the bands had attitude. Fucking, it's just it was the cool side of Pinoys coming out and being the popular ones for a time being, because we're, if you think about it, the rockers are always in the background. The Dungeons and Dragons dudes are always in the background, And every now and then we get popular, man. More popular than the jocks, than the rich dudes or whatever. And so what happened to
What
you
happened?
after
Well,
LA?
LA 105. I stayed with them till 2001. Shifted formats. It went electronica. I still went on the air because electronica was a nice movement. It's like why didn't disco sound like this?
Yeah.
If disco sounded like this, I'd probably start dancing. man.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was a different scene, and I was getting my drug abuse was getting worse, man. I was falling into meth and harder drugs, drinking
Right.
more. I stayed with them till 2001, but going on the air probably till 2000. From electronica, we were known as the Beat. LA 105.9, the Beat.
The beat.
Yeah, and then from there, we joined the pop, and I told the radio station I can't go on the air, not like this. I can be your voiceover for your promos.
Right.
I'll
Right.
do
Right.
your
But you can't be a
production,
DJ for
but
this.
I'm not gonna go on board. I can't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is where I have to draw the line.
Right.
But I can do your production. That's it. So I did a production till 2001, and I joined the sound system business. I was with the Surd Audio. It was a big
Yeah.
system,
Yeah.
established system. It had like 8 groups that could do individual gymnasium shows. Band setups,
Nice.
lights.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, I remember
I
that.
got into that.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
into that, and then 2002, I entered rehab.
In
In 2002
in the Philippines.
Makati, in the Philippines.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So I was there for like 3.5 months. I could go out. It was not a bikutan type of rehab. This was a rehab that was more or less centered on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. It was like
Right.
the Hazelden programming of Hazelden. So I had to I quit my drug and alcohol problems. And went back the day I got out of rehab. I got my diploma.
Yeah.
So I told Dad, this is the diploma I've always wanted to give you, my
Nice.
graduation from drug and alcohol management. Man, it was tough. It was tough, man. It was really tough.
Shit,
It was not
man.
easy. It was not easy. I was going through withdrawals. I was going through cravings. I would go to a gig and I'd be
Shit.
sweating, man. My body would just sweat.
And you were going through withdrawals on your own,
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course. It was painful, man. Withdrawal. I mean, one
Shit.
moment it would be the alcohol withdrawal. Next, it'd be a flashback from meth.
I
Then
put
I would want to smoke a joint. I mean, there were days that I would just be crying, man, in the rehab because I wanted to
Wow.
walk out, and I could walk out. I was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
locked in, and just go to the nearest 7-Eleven. I relapsed one time after the 21st day, and that's when I knew the difference. And I told
Ah,
myself, if I'm going to start relapsing while in rehab, what more when I go outside? And I wanted to rock, man. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna. I mean, you can take away my drugs and alcohol, but you won't fucking kill my rock and roll. You'll have to kill me to
Yeah.
kill my rock and roll. To
Right.
take that away from me, man, because that's not gonna go away, man.
For sure, yeah.
That's keeping me sane now. It got me crazy before, but it's keeping me grounded right now.
Right. Uh-huh.
And connected to reality, man. So, they taught me. I went to the meetings. I introduced new ideas into my system and began the whole recovery process. And today, 18 years later, man, I mean, I'm still learning stuff.
It's
And
18 years since you stopped.
it's my last day was July 18, 2002. So my first date of being clean and sober was
Wow.
19th of July 2002, and I mark that day. I observe that day every year.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm
Yeah.
hitting
It's
another
like a
milestone
birthday,
in
dude.
July. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I take it seriously, man, because I got too much responsibility. I can't go down anymore, man.
You're a grandpa already, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Di na bagay yung drugs.
So I stayed with the sound system business until 2005. I was doing gigs,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
but I worked as a marketing guy, and 2005 I said, I think I'm going to move up to Baguio. My three children were there. My wife had left. She went to the States. She remarried,
Right.
and I said, I'm going to go up to Baguio and spend time with my kids, man. So I quit the sound system. I went to Baguio. I worked for a call center. I was the guy who was interviewing the people, who were applying for a call center job.
Okay.
like
Human
checking
resource.
their comms, checking their comm skills.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Interview, like you're doing your customer and you're checking.
Oh,
their
right.
comms.
Okay. Yeah.
The
Right.
sad thing about that is that if he doesn't sound good, it starts there, it ends there. So I didn't really like doing that part.
Yeah. Yeah,
and the
yeah.
hours would vary, and but I was with my children, and then I applied for a radio station. They had a country radio station. in
Yeah,
Baguio.
dude.
So I applied to the priest. His name was Father Laurie. Abela. He passed away earlier last year. He passed away. He's been sick. So he goes, Ramon, I have been praying for an angel to join our radio station. And today that angel has just walked into the room. And I told Father, I don't know if I'm the angel.
A lot of pressure, pare.
I don't know if I'm the angel that you're envisioning because I'm an angel of fucking death, man. Let's just join you. You don't know what you just got, because he auditioned me on the spot. He told me to write a radio script. I did it for him. He told me, how would you program this radio station? I did it for him. I did everything he asked me to do on the spot, man. And then he told me to go on board. I said, okay. So I was listening to all these country guys. I was like, shit, man. Tim McGraw, Blake Shelton, Dixie Chicks, man.
Dixie Chicks, yeah.
Who the fuck are these guys? I know the older ones, but these are the newer ones at that time.
Yeah.
So I told him, I think you should change what he liked from me was that I told him that I think you should take out the word magic. It sounds very top 40. They were known as 99.9 Magic. So why don't we call it something else? Because we're playing country music. And I was telling him, take away the other types of block programmings that you have, because sometimes they play classical, sometimes they play middle of the road songs. It's so chop suey. Why listen to a radio station who plays only 2 hours of it when you're promoting the other radio station that's playing it for 24 hours? There's no sense.
Yeah.
Right? And they can even do it better than us because that's their niche.
Yeah.
That's their programming. So we go all country. So we changed the name to 99.9 Country, number one for new country and the legends,
Nice.
Something like that. So that's what he liked. I wrote all the scripts. We produced it. I got Bob Magoo to voice it, man. Came up to Baguio, And that's it. Yeah.
And we even
you guessed it, right?
You guessed it, but three-headed dog, dude.
Right.
Was it three-headed dog or locomotive? It was three-headed dog.
That was locomotive the first time, and the second time was three-headed dog.
Oh, twice,
so
right?
Twice.
Yeah, dude.
Right. We did
during that time, I was really happy for you. It's like, oh, Ramon's looking good, and he's a DJ again,
Yeah.
So, and then like of all places, Baguio, no?
I know, but it was easier, it was a more laid-back place. It had a music scene, we had a lot of bands that also played in Manila, a lot of veteran bands. I played on LA 105, So it wasn't bad. It was good. Second to Manila, I think Baguio has the best musicians in the Philippines. Baguio, Cebu, Manila, I think have the best ones.
Right.
So
I agree, yeah.
So it was pretty good, man. We had a nice, the mountains, the weather, man, cheaper, easier to manage your family, smaller, more compact, man,
Yeah.
So
and
I was
nice.
teaching. I started teaching Koreans too, I got the Korean gig. They pay well, so kept me up there. And I could still go to Manila to do the gigs, man.
Yeah. Man, you were working that time.
Yeah,
dude. You were working. You were working your ass off, dude.
Rock to the streets, man, that time.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man, you're fucking the doctor, dude. All those DJs are great. Yeah, they're all awesome. I have respect for every single one of them. But you're the doctor, dude. You're the fucking doctor, man.
Well, if I didn't want to just be a DJ, man, I just wanted to do everything. I wanted to.
I'm telling you, man, of all
there, man.
I'm telling you, dude, all these interviews I do of these people that I look up to, they just wanted to do what they wanted to do. They had no plan. There was no plan. There was no, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then this is gonna get me that, and this is gonna get me that. It's like, no, we've all done what we like to do in our heart. It's just that we were fortunate that the right people at the right time helped us out to get to that to get on that road. And you, my friend, man, you're like John the Baptist, dude.
Oh my goodness.
You're like John the Baptist, and rock and roll and Jesus is rock and roll. That's how I see you, man.
Heavy.
It's like if Jesus was rock and roll, rock, whatever, the spirit of rock. Yeah. You are John the Baptist to that era of young people, man. Because I'm telling you, man, I'm a deep down inside I'm a romantic person, and not just romantic love. but romantic in every sense. I in every situation I try to go as deep as I can and see what the essence of it was. And in the 90s, the essence of that whole scene, you're part of it, man. The Ghost, everybody in that station is part of it.
It
But
was a team
especially
effort, man.
huh?
It was a team effort, the whole team.
Oh yeah,
man,
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so anyway, before we end, let's give me three of your most memorable moments in your career. Anything, any moment, the best
Okay.
three ones that you can come up with.
All
Whether
right.
it be a concert, anything.
Well, there were most of them are concerts. Would you believe? I mean, the radio gigs were fine. I mean, there were a lot of memorable stuff there. But I would say the live gigs are more. I got more clarity. When you don't smoke anymore, man. You're clean and sober, man. You can see things with a lot of clarity. You're not talking from where the sun don't shine, man.
Right.
I would say probably three of my favorite moments were Pulp SummerSlam was definitely one of the greatest moments I've had.
Yeah.
I mean, Vernon Go, man, of Pop Live World has always been a trendsetter. I mean, he has brought up the standards, man, for live music entertainment, for
Dude.
rock.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy has brought rock bands that I have never even imagined existed, man.
Exactly, dude.
And of course he brings his favorites there too, but he brings the mixture of the new, the known, and the legends, man.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
one entertainment package. man.
Yep.
And that's not easy to do. I mean, and I've been with him for 19 years, 19 Summer Slams.
Yeah, dude.
So all those slams were.
I remember
were
the fucking first one, man. I
That
remember
was-
the first
yeah.
one. Because the
Rosario
first one,
Sports Complex.
it's so ironic that the first
Yeah.
SummerSlam
Yeah.
was opened by Michael Turner. Because he played you remember that? He played the national anthem, dude.
I just talked to him a few days ago, man. He's
Yeah,
doing well.
dude.
He's in Nashville right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Turner. Yeah. He's doing very well. In fact, he's gonna collaborate on one song. The Breed is reunited, man, with a different lineup
Wow.
with Charlie Ismail still on vocals, and
Right.
I think Michael Turner's gonna guest in one of their songs that he wrote. For the
That
Breed,
he wrote.
man. Yeah,
Right.
so they're gonna release that. So that all the Summer Slams have been memorable, man. All of them, all 19. I was so sad we didn't get to do the 20th, man. I was gonna go back to the Philippines.
Dude, with fucking Iron Maiden.
That was the last Summer Slam, bro. I recorded my spiels already for the promotion spiels. It was all recorded, and I was ready to fly back. I bought all the garb I was going to bring back and wear on stage, man.
Yeah.
I was going to wear the Black Sabbath, hoodie with The End, man. Because it was the last Summer Slam.
So Vernon's retiring SummerSlam?
I don't know what his plans are, man. I talked to him. He's basically putting it first on hold. I mean, we can't make plans with this pandemic,
No, for sure. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
So, we'll see. He'll probably go back to the drawing
dude. I
boards
mean,
with this pandemic.
he has to be fucking Iron Maiden has to play in the Philippines, dude.
It's sad, he's got so many cancellations,
Yeah,
it's
man.
really sad. Even the Slipknot had canceled, I mean,
That's right.
that's unfinished business. So, it's hard as a concert promoter, man. It's no joke, man,
Yeah.
You promote, you spend, and then it doesn't push through, and I mean, it's frustrating. I would say number 2 would probably be who got the best of Pinoy folk rock, man. Easily number 2.
What's that?
This was
The recording?
this was a live show by Viva Records
Okay.
at the Araneta Coliseum, man. This is Juan de la Cruz on the bill. Sampaguita, Florante came back, to do the
Yeah.
show. Banyuhay ni Heber was there. Gary Granada was there. Lolita Carbon of Asin.
Uh-huh.
Noel Cabangon was also there. But mostly the 70s guys. And somebody who looked up to the DZRJ rock jocks, man. I never got to experience the 70s, man.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And seeing all these guys in one concert, man. And I was chosen to host this particular concert.
Wow.
I mean, what a freaking honor, man, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and let me tell you something. I never got to introduce Juan de la Cruz as a band. Okay? That's always been on my list. I mean, and I would really be so jealous when I would be watching a Juan de la Cruz show and it would be a different host and I'd be there. I mean, I don't mind that, but I would really envy that host and say, like, oh my God, you don't even know who you're going to introduce. You're just like some kid, you know?
Yeah.
You just like, you don't even feel that, you know?
Shit.
I have introduced Pepe and Wally, Pepe and Mike, Wally and Mike, but not three of them together. Never.
My God.
And I got to do it at the Big Dome, man.
Shit.
At the Araneta Coliseum.
Do you remember? Did you write a script or did you just wing it?
I prepared a script in my mind because the scripts were all in Tagalog, bro, and they were in teleprompters, man.
Okay.
And you know my Tagalog is not very good. I'm Cebuano. I mean, I can talk in Tagalog, but don't make me say two sentences. With you, walang problema, pare. Pero sa stage, iba na yon, pare. You know? the ball game changes, man. So I had this teleprompter.
You're gonna hear in the audience, Coño.
That's not what they say in SummerSlam. They say, "Hey, that grandfather looks cool, man. That's a cool grandfather."
Right? Yeah, dude.
Because the audience is getting younger every year.
Oh yeah,
you know, Slam has been around for 19 years.
19 years. Imagine.
And I hear that too in Dutan, you know, because Dutan's been there for a while too, man.
Yeah.
You grow old with this festivals, man. I also do URCC, which is the premier mixed martial arts. I'm a cage announcer. I've been with them for 9 years, man. And Team Lakay, you know, the number one stable for mixed martial arts in the Philippines, man. So being with these guys, Pinoy rock guys, introducing them one by one. Wow, man. It was like a dream, man, because these are my idols. These are the guys I grew up listening to, man.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're on stage with them. And I'm a fan. First and foremost, I'm a fan, bro.
Yeah.
You cannot take that away from me. Man, you know? I mean, Pepe is an old friend. He's a good friend, a dear
You're still
friend.
a fan.
But I'm a fan. When I'm with him, I'm still, starstruck. You know?
Starstruck.
Because I don't forget where I came from, you know?
Yeah.
See, and these guys were the guys who were the masters. They're the reasons why I'm here. You know, without them, I'm not here. You know?
Do you remember the intro?
I just said something like the Godfathers of Pinoy rock, which is, they're supposed to be known as that.
Yeah.
And I said the Juan de la Cruz. It's recorded on Viva. Viva has it. It's released. It's on YouTube and everything.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
But it's spliced. I mean, I talk more than that. I just didn't go up on stage and say, "Hey, this is Juan de la Cruz." No, it didn't work that way. I had to ad lib.
Oh yeah, of course. You had the doctor.
I had to give some information.
Treatment.
I had to put the hail and kill there.
Oh fuck yeah, the hail and kill, man.
So that was a very memorable one, and I would say number 3 would be Strawberry Woodstock, man, in
What's
Benguet.
that?
Strawberry Woodstock was a 3-day festival, man. It runs.
Did Wolfgang play?
No,
we didn't play.
We could not afford Wolfgang.
Oh, okay. No, because I remember playing in Baguio, in the big field there.
Yeah, this was in La Trinidad, Benguet.
Oh, okay.
Baguio, you guys played, I think, at the Track Oval. If it's not the Track Oval, you guys played at probably near Burnham Park, right?
Yeah, the big field in Burnham Park.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was approached by this Italian concert organizer who claims he was at the original 1969 Woodstock Festival, man.
Okay.
His name was Mario Leguizamo. I called him later Super Mario. And so he comes to the radio station and he tells me he's got a mission. He wants to do Strawberry Woodstock in Benguet. And he wants it to run for 3 days, broadcast on the internet live for the OFW worker. Okay.
Right.
And he had the backing of the mayor because they wanted to promote the strawberry, because the fruit, because everybody thinks the strawberries are from Baguio. They're not from Baguio. They're from La Trinidad Benguet, man. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, but he goes, I just want to get amateur bands. So I told him, if you're gonna just get amateur bands and they sound amateur, I'm not with you to showing that on the internet for the whole world to see. And they're gonna think that the Philippines got crappy bands,
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not in. I'm sorry. I told him that. But if you have a budget that we can get some decent bands on, some seasoned bands, and put them all together, and we'll probably tap from the 70s, 80s, and 90s generation,
Yeah.
This was in 2008, 2009 period, man,
Right.
So this festival started at 7 p.m. Friday, and it went nonstop. Early morning, 2:30, Monday morning, nonstop. It went over 50 hours of music, man. More than 100 bands. I brought like 30 bands from Manila, man.
Holy shit!
No shit. Yeah, nonstop, bro. I brought Pen was here, Banyuay, Chico Pura, The Jerks, Lolita Carbon, Pepe Smith, Philippine Violators, Woods, Jay Ortega played as Dirt was here, went up.
Oh, okay.
Dami, man. Wall of Sound came up. DJ Alvaro, Alamid,
Wow.
It was huge, man. It
3
was at
days
the
nonstop?
State University, 2:00 in the morning, 3:00, 4:00.
Putang
5:00.
ina. And how were the people? Were they into it?
They wanted to shut it down after one day because they couldn't sleep. We had some guys camping out. They would come. They were coming to me like, "You have to shut this festival. We cannot go to work. We cannot sleep. 2:00. Why don't you let it rest?" I said, "I can't because it has to go on, and we have the permission from your mayor. Your mayor has approved this festival."
Shit.
They wanted to shut us down, but they couldn't because the mayor was there, with security and all that. We were just too loud. We had one big stage sponsored by San Miguel Beer. Two setups, and then I was working by shifts. So I had a shift for the prime time, and then the time where the amateur bands played. You get your 30 minutes of fame. So 30 minutes, one band.
Right.
Then the host comes up, introduces the next band, and the next band plays. Next band goes down. Next band is setting up, man.
Right.
That's how it was. 3 shifts. We we closed one hotel so I can have all my Manila bands play there.
Wow.
And
Sarap, pare.
Wow, man.
I would have loved to have been there, dude.
Bob Magoo was there. Howlin' Dave didn't make it. He passed away a few days before the festival.
Oh, really? A few days?
Yeah, a few days, man. So I had to get an American DJ. It was with 99.9. He was half American Indian. He passed away a few months ago. His name was 18 Wheeler.
Oh, I heard about him.
He sat in for Howlin' Dave, man. The round mound of sound. Yeah.
Such cool names, man.
Yeah, because he was an 18-wheeler driver. That was his job in the States.
Oh,
man.
Wow.
So
I fucking love the DJ names, man.
The Red Lion was there. They placed their own bar, so we had the bar open for 24 hours.
Oh my God.
It was awesome, man. It was, and we finally ended at 2:35 Monday morning.
Shit.
And the people didn't want us to stop because they just wanted it to go on and on and on.
Who was the last band?
Not the band. We ended with Isagani Ibarra.
Oh, I know him.
The folk singer, the 70s folk singer, yes. He ended the show, and of course the crowd was still using their percussions, and everything. Just
what I meant about the people was I meant the audience. How were they? Were they game?
Yeah, they were game. The ones who came there to watch, man, were rock guys. They were game. The ones who were not game were the older folks, man.
Yeah, the locals.
The locals who wanted to go and sleep, and I can understand them, but they were given notice that this is the first show that's going to go round the clock.
Yeah.
Woodstock stopped at certain times of the day, man.
Yeah.
They would stop and then resume again. But this one went on. And a lot of producers were calling us up and checking, is the sound system still alive? Did you bust an amp? Because I had the gym beside the football field as a backup resort. And in case if our amps blow up, we have another sound system to use, and we all move to the gym. to keep
Nice.
it going for the overseas Filipino worker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's a different time zone and all of
Right,
that.
right,
Right.
exactly.
I get it. You're right.
So that's
That's
it, man.
that's an actual that's a noble idea, dude. To make a concert like that for
Yeah.
OFWs all over the world, you know.
Right, right.
Wow. That was
So
cool.
that's what
man.
we did, and that was I'm very proud of that because I don't think it's ever been done before. 3 straight days, you
Yeah,
know,
dude.
nonstop, you know. So
Shit.
I'm proud of that, man.
All right, man, let's get out of here. 3
Yeah.
hours, bro. 3 hours. 3 hours. This is the
Well,
longest
you have a
episode so
lot
far,
of
man.
questions, man. You
No,
haven't even asked
no,
me
it's
what's
like-
what's
I'm
up
not-
with
I'm
the
not-
music
I'm not-
scene in Florida, man.
Dude, I'm not complaining, huh? I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact that it's the longest episode so far, and
Oh, okay.
it's great.
All right.
No, and it's great, dude. No, it's no problem, man. I mean, the more talk. I mean, the show's called WDRS Talk.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Okay.
it's an AM radio show. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is WDRS Talk with the one and only the Doctor Ramon Zialcita, a very good friend, one of the best DJs in the Philippines, and a wonderful guy, Grandpa Lolo, and has the best looking long hair, man. Dude, I'm envious of your fucking hair, dude.
Thank you, Wolf.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for having me, man.
Thanks,
the rock
man.
will go on in the States, man. We're not stopping until the wheels come off, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Get your
Thank you
vaccine
for
when you
having
can,
me.
okay?
I will. Hail and kill, man.
Hail and kill.
Take
Thanks,
care.
man.
Rock on, man.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
All right.
Keep rocking.
Sige. Ingat,
Okay.
bro. Bye.
All right, Wolf. Bye. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
It's been
you,
an honor
man.
guesting on your show, man. Let's
Oh,
do it
shit.
again sometime.
For sure.
All right.
Honor's mine, dude.
Okay.